Guys, how's everybody doing today? I see we already have people in the live stream. I wonder if I hope I started this stream. Yeah, there it goes. Okay, what's up, everybody? Blue Marble, how you doing? Truth of the matter, I see you out there in the comments. Today we do actually have a special guest. He comes from the Pete and Peter channel. I believe, is it Peter and Pete? Is the channel Peter and Peter, Pete and Peter?
It's I can't remember. What is it? Peter and Pete. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah,
Peter and Pete. Yeah, that's our channel. Call us what you like. I'm not bothered.
Okay, actually, why don't you go ahead and introduce your channel since we've already started talking about you?
Well, okay. I mean, the channel that we do is basically all about making people realize certain truths, core truths in society, in human life, that a lot of people just aren't aware of. I mean, obviously, one way of tackling or one way of truth can only be hidden, or one way truth is hidden is certainly by covering truth up with lies. Okay, bullshit, whatever you want to call it. There's an awful lot of rubbish out there in society. Okay, that is undeniable. I mean, everybody will agree with that. Everybody will agree that people lie. Human beings can and do in fact lie. They lie. Okay. Now, you know, you've got to understand there's an awful lot of rubbish in society, a lot of lies, a lot of deception. People can be deceived quite easily. Okay. The only way you can get at the truth is by sifting through all the rubbish, you know, so that we can get to the truth. So the channel is essentially all about looking at the truth, human behavior, the globe society, because a lot of people fail to realize that it's human beings that make lies. It's not nature. Nature doesn't lie to us. If we have a pain in our leg, we have a pain in our leg. If we have a pain in our hearts, we have a pain in our hearts. Nature doesn't lie to us. Human beings do. So it's, you know, we have to look at society, look at human beings, look at the state of human beings, the state of their behaviors. When you look at the globe society, or a lot of societies throughout the whole, all over the earth, you know, they're plagued with negative behavior, corruption, crime. You've got so many people are unhappy in their lives. You've got what have you got? Rape, murder, all child abuse, all of these kind of behaviors plague human societies across the earth. Okay.
Okay.
That is undeniable. Nobody can deny that. Okay, that is a truth. Okay, so we have to go from that truth. Okay, that is a truth. So we have to look at the lies that cover up those truths, because all of that stuff just isn't talked about. When I went to my school and I had an education, I was never taught that kind of stuff. What I would expect to experience in my adulthood, in my society, that I'd be working alongside paedophiles, that I'd be hanging around people who who hold bitterness, who are discriminative, okay, who are bigoted. I wasn't taught any of that when I went to school. Okay, when I went to university as well, I was never taught any of this kind of stuff. Okay, these are truths. All of you people here in this room cannot deny those truths. Okay, so that is the platform that I would like to spring off from.
Okay. Well, what we're gonna do is we're first going to introduce everybody. There's a few people that do want to come on. A few of the
Hello?
Yeah.
Skeptic?
Did we lose him?
Well, I can still hear an echo. Is that from him?
That's weird.
What happened?
Did the mic input die?
Did he accidentally mute himself or something?
Well,
No.
I'm still here.
Oh, yeah, but Team Skeptic isn't.
Well, you know, Perhaps he's a paedophile. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? Perhaps perhaps he's got something to hide. Lots of people have secrets in their lives.
Okay, I hope you're saying.
I did say perhaps. I didn't say it was.
Yeah. Well, I think they're here. I think they may have stepped away while you were doing your intro. I'll go ahead and introduce.
Here
I
he is.
think I heard
again.
Yeah, I think I heard Micro. Micro, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, go ahead and introduce yourself and explain your qualifications and why you're important to this conversation.
Well, I go by the name Microblogganism, and I have a bachelor's in biology and is currently doing my master's in cell biology. So that's why I'm here, because you've made some claims that pertain to the biology of fishes.
He's gone again.
Now what the fuck? There you go.
Okay, I don't know what happened there. I think I got.
Did you get that weird bug where it just says that an error has occurred and you're excluded from the call?
No, it just went black and now it came back. So, and I got another notification. I hope it didn't restart my stream, but okay. But anyway,
No, my question. So, is Halsoy trying to get anyone else? Was he one of the ones you invited, Skeptic?
I don't know if I sent him an invite. You're more than welcome to send an invite to Halsoy. Okay, so Micro, did you get a chance to tell everybody about yourself? Okay.
Who I am
now,
and my qualifications and why I'm here.
Geo, are you back yet?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and let Pete know what your qualifications are and why you're here.
So, hey Pete, my name is Alex. I run a small YouTube channel called Geostreber, Geostreber. I have a bachelor's degree in chemistry, and I'm currently working on my master's. So that's why I'm here. If you have any chemistry-related questions, those should be asked to me.
All right, and then Jared. We have Jared in here. He's going to be more along the lines of speaking on the stuff I speak on. He does know a lot of the chemistry and biology as well, but he also has an insight to the relativity aspect of things. So
the higher sciences.
Yeah, not the easy stuff that these other guys got full degrees in.
Can't see it, but I'm flipping you off.
Okay.
No, for those who don't know, my background is not just time spent in the U.S. military supporting aviation electronics and actual aircraft, but I also do have a bachelor's in electrical engineering and associates in aeronautical engineering, and decided why the hell not, went back to school, and now I'm pursuing a degree in just outright physics.
All right, so good deal. So, and I believe did we have another person join in just a second ago? I thought I saw somebody join in. Maybe somebody joined in and left.
Halsoy is on the back chat.
Okay. Well, if Halsoy wants to join, go ahead and send him an invite. We have, like I said, we have a few people in the audience that will be joining. We have somebody that Pete, you guys have been in contact with. One of my users, Wildman Fujiyami. He's
sure.
The Stanley Meyer water fuel technology.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I didn't really give anybody my kind of like qualifications.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure, go ahead, please.
Yeah, sure. I'm 49 years of age. I'm a human being. I have feelings and emotions. I'm just the same as everyone else here in this Google Hangout. I've had a wealth of experience. I know I've done a couple of years psychology at university. Okay. I fully understand the human psyche. I fully understand how human beings tick. Okay. And to be honest with you, I've been through some life crises. I've had my good times, my bad times. At the end of the day, I know what life's about. I'm clued up on life, and those are my qualifications that I'm presenting here.
All right, good deal.
And we have Halsoy in now.
Okay, great. And Halsoy's in. All right.
Halsoy?
Just to ensure
Yes.
that we don't feel like we're ganging up on you, we'll try to keep each other
you guys
at
can
one at a
gang up
time.
on me if you want to. I've got no problem with that at all.
Okay, well, I mean, he's lifted the floodgates, fellas. So,
Yeah,
I guess we'll go ahead and start.
Can I just say one thing, and that is,
Yeah,
you
sure.
guys have to be careful because obviously it's a public kind of like chat, and your behaviour is just being scrutinised as much as mine. So just please bear that in mind. So,
well, I think Pete, we're pretty aware of that. I mean, almost everybody of us has had at least a few dozen hangouts on their respective channels. So
yeah. I'm just saying, you know, so because there's there's no need to kind of like, I mean, I've looked, I haven't done much research on you guys at all. Team Skeptic, I mean, you sound a nice guy, but I haven't really been on your channel much at all and looked at it. But one thing I did strike me, and that is you call people idiots for some reason.
Well, they're
people
idiots.
who don't share your view, you call idiots. I don't know why that is.
It's not.
Well,
it's not because of. I'll let you explain, Team Skeptic. Since
I'll explain. Well, we'll get all that. That's something more for an entertainment value. I don't call people idiots.
No. Sorry, I do not accept that.
Okay,
as far
well,
as I'm concerned,
there's a difference between an ad hominem attack.
You have a low value of people who do not share your view. I saw Thrive and Survive. You've done an interview with him, I believe.
No. That's somebody else.
There's idiot. You got idiot written on the video that you put up of his. There's another video where you've got all these are flat earthers, obviously, and you're calling them idiots. Why is that? Are you bigots?
Because they're idiots. I mean,
but why are they? Why? So what makes you special and these people not?
Because I'm not an idiot.
Sorry?
No, I don't judge them on a human level. I'm just calling them out for
You're calling them idiots.
Yeah.
I have a simple.
Do you call people who behind their back? Do you call them idiots just because they don't share your view? Don't have your personal opinion?
No, people can have different personal opinions. But if they make, hold on, let me answer your question.
Being immature, I tell you.
Let me answer your question first before you begin your ad hominem attack on me. See, I haven't said anything about
ad hominem attacks. I just can't understand.
Okay. So
you're attacking people straight away by calling them idiots.
Let me speak.
What's the matter with you? Look, your avatar. You're an idiot.
Well, okay. Let's skip my opinions.
What's the matter with you?
Hold on. Let's skip my opinions.
I'm sure.
If you want his answer, then
Liz, I know you gotta. When you ask a question, you gotta stop talking so I can answer. But
yeah, sure. But I'm going some people don't listen, do they?
No, that's fine. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna skip all this personal stuff, and we're gonna go right to the business. We'll go back to the
business,
personal,
though, isn't it? Because
we'll go back
think about it. It's all about human beings. The whole issue of the flat Earth globe Earth is all about human beings.
That is not correct.
That's all it is about the shape of the Earth.
A lot of people just don't like the views of flat earthers. Team Skeptic's avatar shows that succinctly. He's calling people.
Listen.
Can I say something?
Listen. You can't just talk.
He's a bigot.
Jesus Christ, dude! Would you please stop talking so everybody can address you?
Think about it.
That's fine. That's fine. You can. Hey, I've told you already. You're allowed to have your opinion.
Listen to yourself.
You're allowed to have your opinion.
Your avatar. You've got personal problems.
That's fine.
You've got personal issues.
We got that. Now let him answer.
It does not make me wrong.
Okay.
No, it doesn't make me wrong. It doesn't make me wrong. Pete,
with
listen,
respect.
we're gonna start with one of your claims. We're gonna start with the claim that water is not H2O. We have a chemist here, we have a biologist here.
No, sure. You go for it. Yeah.
So we're gonna let you start. Go ahead and present your opinion and your evidence to show as to why water is not made from hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah, can I first of all, I'd like to throw it straight back at everyone and say, well, where's your proof that water is made of hydrogen and oxygen?
So we'll start with
because there's no proof as far as I'm concerned.
Micro, which one of you guys want to start, Micro or Geo?
I would like to start.
Yeah, let you do that.
Okay, Geo, go ahead.
Okay, well, let's see. There's, for example, IR spectroscopy. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I'm aware of spectroscopy.
What is it? What is it? What is IR spectroscopy?
It's basically light. They look at the color of light.
Yeah, I'm specifically referring to IR spectroscopy.
Sure. Okay.
What is IR spectroscopy?
How does that? You just tell me, how does that prove that hydrogen and oxygen are in water? Water.
Simple. That's very easy. What I asked, I'm going to. What I asked spectroscopy. Can you please let me talk? What IR spectroscopy does is actually you measure the absorbance of infrared light caused by various molecules. In the case, regarding, we can make several predictions about these based on the masses of the individual atoms that are involved. We're pretty much measuring the vibrations of the individual molecules. And those predictions, for example, predict an absorbance of water in the area of about 3,500 wave numbers. A wave number is a little bit of a weird unit. You would have to look into this, but it's pretty much, you can directly convert it into the frequency of the light absorbed. And the absorbance, or the wavelength where the absorbance is the greatest, is directly a consequence out of the masses of the individual atoms involved. And those pretty much directly show that whatever is doing this in water, one atom has a mass of about 16 atomic units and the other one of about 1.
So can I just hold you there? You're waffling on, but I want to see some proof. Have you got any? Yes or no?
I already told you.
No, you just waffled on. It's just lingo. You're just talking. Stop talking the talk and walk the walk. Show me the proof that water is made of hydrogen and oxygen.
Let me ask you a question. What would you consider proof?
You shouldn't be asking me that.
No,
question.
We need to know what your level of proof is. He just provided you. Okay, go ahead, Mike. Go ahead, Gio. Go ahead, Gio.
Okay, so for example, water has a pretty nice absorbance spectrum, as I said, at around 3,500 wave numbers. That's in 1 divided by a centimeter. And the second one, and the second one that is at around 1,800 or so, or 1,600, something that range.
Yeah. So what's the proof?
Okay, so we can directly.
How does that prove to me that there's hydrogen and oxygen in water? Tell me.
I already told you.
I don't know what you're saying.
We are measuring. What we're doing is we're measuring the wavelengths, and we can predict the vibrations depending on pretty much the geometry and the mass of the molecule. So for example, we expect an OH stretching.
So how do you? Can I just say something? How do you know that the molecule? Okay, how do you know that the molecule is H2O?
I already told you.
We can use
hydrogen or oxygen.
We can use electrolysis and split it.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Water does not conduct electricity.
And that's where you're wrong.
It's only the impurities in water that conduct electricity.
That is wrong.
No, you're wrong.
Sorry, I'm not wrong.
Where's your proof?
So show me where you're right.
Where's your proof?
I've put 240 volts through deionized water.
240 isn't enough.
That probably won't do it. What?
Are you kidding me? Do you know how much you need to put through a fucking distilled water? It's like 35,000 volts per.
Yeah, because water doesn't conduct electricity. That's why.
Until you put about 35,000 volts in.
What are you going to do? Force it? Wow, you're really good, guys.
Hang on. If it does not conduct electricity, then how come we have a number to reach?
So sorry, say that again.
If it does not conduct electricity, why do we have a threshold that needs to be reached?
What do you mean? But I know what you mean. I understand what a threshold is, but how do you relate that threshold to water and electricity and conductivity?
We just gave you a number. We just gave you a number of how many volts you have to use. So if it doesn't,
I've not used those volts, so I'm not
right.
I'm not aware of that. By using voltages at your levels, you're forcing electricity through. You can probably force through.
Then it's electrolysis,
but that's still electrolysis.
You've got enough.
Oh my God!
Force electricity across air.
Convenient electrolysis. That's what you're saying. You're saying that with water you can't make this easy. Well, that's fine. Nobody said it has to be easy. But 100% you can electrolyze distilled water
you can't electrolyze it.
Team Skeptic.
You can't electrolyze water.
Yes, you can.
You can't. You have to add an electrolyte in order to electrolyze water. What do you think an electrolyte's called?
Pete, you can electrolyze water, distilled water. There's only one problem. Electrolysis works best if, as you say correctly, if there's an electrolyte doing this. It's because you want to increase the amperage. If you... Actually, I'm hearing myself. Somebody has to turn down their speakers or whatever a little bit. Thanks. So, I'm still hearing myself. That's annoying. Where was I? Yeah, right. So you have to increase the amperage to increase the speed of the electrolysis. Now, with a non-conducting liquid, well, good luck doing that. The only thing you can do is increase the size of the electrodes, or decrease.
Yeah. What you're sorry. You're telling me that you're forcing electricity through water because it doesn't conduct electricity. That's what you're telling me.
Let him finish, please. Go ahead. Thanks, Micro.
So, Geo.
Or Geo. I'm sorry, Geo.
It's fine. So what you have to do to electrolyze water, distilled water, is either increase the size of the electrodes, or what is even better, get them closer to each other. So what you would want to do in this situation is to create a like spongy electrode. Hey,
I've got to say, but can I just say something? Because you're changing the electrode size and everything, but are you changing the size of the water? You've got to increase. This is proportional. If you're increasing the size of your current, if you're increasing your size of your electrodes, you need to increase your water.
No, that's just a matter.
Otherwise, you're forcing it through.
That is just. It doesn't. No, that is just a matter of convenience.
Electricity.
That is a matter of convenience.
Then why can we force it through?
First of all, electrolysis itself happens only at the surface of the electrodes, meaning the more surface area you have, the better the electrolysis will go.
Well, that's just common sense, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and you don't seem to get that.
So you need to add an electrolyte to water, especially distilled water, deionized water, in order for an electric current to flow. And then it's no longer And then as soon as you put your electrolyte in the water, it's no longer water. You've got a solution.
Yes, it's still water, just with other stuff in it.
Yeah, pure water does not conduct.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you.
Does not conduct electricity.
Okay, so let me ask you a question about an assertion you made in one of your videos, and you can go ahead and you can agree with this because you made this assertion. When you ionize or when you electrolyze sodium chloride solution, sodium chloride inside of water, what are the products that you get at each
cathode anode?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You should have known those two.
I know. I want to hear you say it out loud before I prove you wrong.
Well, Wikipedia will tell. It depends. Well, in my understanding, sodium chloride, electrolysis of sodium chloride solution would give you chlorine at the anode, and at the cathode, it would give you a sodium-based gas. Which people palm off as being hydrogen.
In your video, you say hydrogen. How do you get hydrogen from nothing that does everything doesn't have hydrogen in it? You're just
but you've got to
generating hydrogen.
Is that the thing is that in order for you guys to I've come from mainstream understanding. I live in a globe society. Okay. I'm surrounded by globe society concepts, ideas. I've been through the education system. I'm more than familiar with a lot of the elements, hydrogen, oxygen, all this kind of stuff. So it's very hard for me to break away from those kind of ideas and actually come to formulate my own ideas in a very consistent manner. So it's very familiar. It's I suppose familiar for me to at the moment just to kind of cross over back into mainstream because I mean sometimes I don't like using the word believe at all, but sometimes
I think you cross into mainstream when it's convenient though. Like when you get hydrogen gas when you get hydrogen gas at the other side,
sodium-based gas, obviously.
How is hydrogen a sodium-based gas? Explain that and provide proof,
because
please.
When you do a flame test on the alleged hydrogen that's been captured from the electrolysis of sodium chloride, you find that it burns a sodium-colored flame.
Okay, so now the next question would be, what
now,
is the
now,
byproduct then?
And you look at the hydrogen flame color. It's supposed to be a purple.
Stop. Wait. Guys.
Or it's red even. I mean, you tell me. What does hydrogen? What's the flame color of hydrogen? I don't know.
Hold on.
You guys are supposed to know this.
Hello?
Not me.
He goes at chemist.
Let the person who actually knows answer.
So, Pete, you just said that you get a flame color out of hydrogen that is typical for sodium.
No. I just said that from the electrolysis of sodium chloride, the gas that's off the cathode, which you guys would call hydrogen, when you do a flame test on it, it's yellow.
Okay,
Whereas
great.
Other people, which is reflective of sodium. Okay.
Okay. So
when you do other flame tests on hydrogen, it's a different color. Some people say it's blue. Some people say it's purple, lilac. Some people said it's red as well. I mean, you tell me. You tell me.
I want to ask you a question, but I don't get any possibility. So, if you do this test with the gas you get out of electrolysis, have you actually bothered to analyze that flame with a flame emission spectroscope? Because
I just got a light.
My question was not finished. Because if you do this with sodium, you expect two very sharp peaks at 589 and 590 nanometers. And I bet you at paycheck you will not find this with hydrogen.
Sure, but you're overlooking the color. That's visible. You don't need
all right. Stop right there. Stop
There's
right there.
I have a couple questions for you. On Quora.com.
I have a couple questions for you directly to this.
That some guy put up, and it's the picture of a pretty purple, lilac-y color hydrogen flame. Now, the color flame that we produced from the electrolysis of sodium chloride from the gas at the cathode is yellow. It is not pretty purple, which is allegedly hydrogen. You tell me. You guys supposed to fucking know. Not me. So I'm just doing my own little demonstrations just to prove you guys
wrong.
On,
Pete. Hold on.
I have some simple questions about your methodology.
You guys think about it.
Yes. We already have. Jared.
Yeah, right. Sounds like it.
Ask your question.
All right. My questions are going to be simple yes or no questions. Okay? Because I'm getting tired. Because I am getting tired of hearing you overtalk people who are trying to answer your questions as you drone on. So simple yes or no is all I'm going to be asking you. Are every person's eyes physically the same?
I've not asked. I can't answer that question because I've not asked everyone, and I haven't looked at everyone's eyes.
Okay.
No.
Are there
answer that question?
Is there a defect to people's vision that is called being colorblind?
To be honest with you, I've not known anyone who is or is colorblind, so I couldn't tell you. I don't know. Here. You tell me.
Okay.
Yes.
He is an actual biologist.
There's information out there.
So it's recorded. There are cases. So that would be a yes. There are people who suffer from color blindness.
It's recorded that there are people who say they are color blind.
We have one here.
There are ways to test for it.
Oh, I'm only saying
there are ways to test for it. I had to be tested for it to do my job as anything to do with electronics. You have to be able to determine between red and green.
You could have been tested for it, and yet it doesn't exist. How do you know? It could just be a waste of time.
I know.
Have you guys ever met anyone who's been blind?
So you are just going to be a twat.
Well, I don't know. You could just be saying that. I don't know. People, you got to remember.
Why would I say that?
I said at the very beginning of this chat, people lie. This is why people like me, flat earthers, want proof.
Lie?
You guys can't come up with proof.
Right now,
except if you give me a colorblind test, I will fail it. And you before you say it, no, you can't fail a colorblind test on purpose. They're specifically made so you can't do that.
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. That's your opinion. I mean, I don't know.
I
don't know what's involved in a colorblind test.
That's how the tests are made. It's literally how they're made. They're literally designed in such a way that you can't do that.
We've moved on from the electricity that can't seem to get through water. Now we're on to hydrogen.
Yes, because
we don't know what the color flame is. So let's move on to something else.
Okay. Now that we're coming back to it in the whole thing about color, the reason why I specifically asked about the human eye, which is what you are using, and the ability of someone to actually properly detect different colors is because you are using a flawed instrument that is inconsistent from you, your brother, Micro, Alex, myself, Skeptic. Every person is going to see colors slightly differently. So why are you using an inaccurate measure for your basis?
Have people's testimony as evidence in a court of law. If he was wearing a red jacket, Your Honor. No, it wasn't. It was blue. No, it wasn't. It was green.
Okay, let me answer. Let me answer that question. Pete, let me answer that question and listen real good. Eyewitness testimony is the least reliable source of information in the court of law. Hard evidence is always more important. That's why I'm specifically asked you, did you use a spectroscope, a spectrometer, to determine the color and the emission wavelengths of whatever experiment you performed? Because this is something that cannot be cheated. So that cannot be simply wrong.
Can I just ask you a question to throw it back at you?
You could please answer.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. You can't tell the difference between lilac and yellow. Is that what you're saying?
Some people cannot.
Well, that's not my fault. You know, if people purport to,
but it is your fault using but it is your fault that you have chosen to use a failed methodology.
Perhaps they're in the wrong job. You know, perhaps they shouldn't be scientists. I mean, if you can't determine,
because we don't rely on our personal experience in science.
But you've got artists now. Artists use color really well.
That is the difference between science and story. Science doesn't rely on personal experience. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Science does not rely on something that cannot be repeated and predicted and modeled is not scientific.
That's nonsense. That's rubbish. The globe Earth cannot be modeled. I've never seen any curved water.
What cannot be?
That's rubbish.
Okay, hold on. We will get to flat Earth at the end. Hold on. We'll get to flat Earth at the end. Right now, we're going to focus on the H2O, not water. That's where I ran into you guys.
Yeah, I'm still there. You still haven't proved it. I'm still here.
Well, we're going to
see some proof.
Yeah, we'll go. We will. Hey, Jared, can you do me a favor and send Jay Brown?
Here. We've got
I'm working on it.
Chemists. Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
Show us what you got. Stop talking.
Well, that's what he's trying to do over here. That's what
well, you haven't convinced me yet.
He was trying to tell you that you can't use your personal eyesight to say that that's not hydrogen.
Wait,
hold on 1 second, please.
Give me 1 second. There's me.
If you cannot say, oh, well, my eyes told me that it's not hydrogen, the color of the fire, when you can take a fucking something that can analyze the light coming from the fire and tell you exactly what it is, whether you have color blindness or not, whether you see green as purple or not, whether you.
Yeah, but can I just say one thing? I'm not insecure. I can trust my senses.
I didn't. Okay, that's you.
No,
and that's
you guys obviously can't. You're having to use
that is a non-scientific answer. That's a non-scientific answer,
and it's bullshit.
Why should you need to live by science?
Because
there's a man using a computer.
Are you guys that insecure?
So you're telling me that the predictive model that science provides is not useful to you? Your senses are more useful.
He's successfully dragging you into a rabbit hole right now, by the way.
Yep.
Well, no, because
you might want to climb out.
Skeptic's doing that to me because he's asked me a question that I feel is unrelated to.
No. I said science is a predictive model.
And you've still not come up with any evidence, proof that any of the claims made so far.
Okay, Gio, present the evidence. Some more evidence, I guess. I mean,
you got to realize evidence is just information. I want to see proof.
Okay,
so you'd like us
to see proof
do the experiment right here on the Hangout? Is that what you're saying?
Well, we can.
It's kind of a ridiculous request.
Let's have a look at something online. People can share their desktops. Let's have a look at some proof. Let's see some proof that there's hydrogen and oxygen in water, and hydrogen and oxygen make up water. Easy, simple.
Okay, so for
your opportunity, put your money where your mouth is.
Okay, do you know what an esterification reaction is?
Do I need to?
That's why I'm
Just
asking.
show me.
Otherwise, I just explain it.
You can. Is there not a video online?
How is the video irrelevant? How's the video relevant? I can explain it to you.
I don't need your explanations. I could just watch a video. We can all watch a video, sit down, watch a video, so we've all got the same information, and then we can talk about it. How's that?
Hey,
that sounds
hey, Skeptic, may I propose something?
Yeah,
I propose that if he refuses to answer simple yes or no answers, you simply just use the control room to turn down his volume so Gio can actually speak.
Okay.
Okay, so let me ask the question again. Do you know what an esterification reaction is?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay. So in organic chemistry, an esterification reaction is the reaction of a carboxylic acid with an alcohol. And what you get is a compound called an ester. Now, during that reaction, a second molecule forms, and that is water. Now, the reaction connects the two molecules at the part where water is split off. And those parts are a carboxylic acid before and an alcohol. Now, guess what carboxylic acid and an alcohol are made of?
Yeah, but I know what an alcohol is made of. It does have, well, allegedly, in your understanding, it would be oxygen, hydrogen, and OH.
Okay, and a carboxylic acid?
Well, obviously, it's got OH because it's an acid, so it's obviously a substance in water, diluted.
No, first of all, there's no requirement for an acid to have.
I mean, you know,
there's no requirement for an acid to have oxygen, none whatsoever. That's not the definition of what an acid is.
Water. Yeah. Saw that woman. Oh yeah. Oh, the thingy test. The test that they. Yeah. Oh, Winkler test. Oh, yeah, sure. Talk about that. Oh well, so yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's an unfair advantage talking about something I don't know, I'm unaware of, or I don't know much about, because obviously I need to look at something, study something.
Then why do you talk about it on your channel? Why do you present it as proof on your channel?
So I was going to say, if you're going to make a claim saying such a this and this absolutely does not consist of such and such, okay, that entails that you have done something that means you have a full understanding of it, such that you can make that quantitative statement. If you don't know how or the methods of actually figuring out if this is the case or not, you shouldn't actually say that as a fact. And that's kind of Gio's point.
Sure, but you see, the thing is, people like myself and a lot of other flat earthers, and we're calling you guys out. We're calling out science. We're calling out this globe society to show us the actual proof. Okay.
No. What you're doing is making qualitative statements without having done anything
and hydrogen
to back up your
we want to see proof that there's an
basing your entire statement off of your personal ignorance. That's all you're doing.
Proof.
That's all you're doing.
Evidence and information that could be wrong, misleading, manipulative. Because too many people in this society, your society, lie. They're filled with rubbish and bullshit.
And
that is a fact.
And same on your end. Same on your end.
That.
Oh, okay. So here,
it's a non-sequitur
method. Are you guys familiar with the Winkler test?
Hang on. Okay, you've done your rant now. You've gone on a tangent now. You're done. Are you done with your rant?
No, you guys got to be joking. I'll be doing my channel until people start actually waking up to realize how much rubbish there is.
Rant that you're currently doing, you moron.
The Winkler test. We could do that. Let's have it.
So let's drag this back to Gio's point. So again, you're saying there's lies going around. Okay,
absolutely.
Well, there's this thing about cleaning your own house before cleaning someone else, or yelling at someone else for not having their house cleaned, right? So when you make statements, factual statements, such that X is not made out of Y, okay, that entails that you've done the research to actually factually back it up. And if you don't understand a method like Gio has just presented, that is what you would need to understand to make these statements, you cannot assert that as fact. Ergo, you're lying, okay? So you need to clean your own house before you're yelling at others.
No, I think I don't need to clean my house. What I need to do is do some more research into the information that you're providing me.
Same analogy.
I'm unsure of the limitations of the information you're giving me, and I'm unsure of the limitations of and understanding that you guys have on the method and processes that you're telling me.
All right, can I present something real quick?
And I've realized that I've got to do things myself.
I'm going to ask one question. And
yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. So are we now under the understanding that you agree that you should not make these statements until you have the full picture? Because that's essentially what you said in many more words just now. Meaning,
no, those are your
go on your channel and say that actually I couldn't make this statement and I retract it until I have actual evidence to back that up.
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I'm not agreeing to that at all.
No, he's not saying go on and admit your statement's wrong. He's saying go find out the information more before you present it as facts. Because actually, in this situation, you are presenting incorrect facts
whatsoever that oxygen and hydrogen make up.
Can I give you some proof real quick? Can I give you some proof? This is an actual. Hold on. Listen. Pete, please don't make me mute you. I don't want to mute you. I don't want to mute you. Okay, I'm trying to talk to you. I asked you a question. Would you like me to present you? Would you like me to present you with some evidence?
You've got to bear in mind that evidence is just information. That's all it is.
No, it's not. This is an actual. Hold on. Listen to me. Listen to me. This is done by. Listen to me. This is an experiment that has been done.
This is a 30-second
Listen to me. Yes, this has been done by a user that's in the chat. Do you understand that? This is empirical experiment done. Yes. Okay. So here, let me show you. Okay. This is electrolysis of pure H2O by a user in the chat, not by somebody that is some weirdo from across the world that posted this video that we don't know. You have information, you have questions about this video, please address Wildman. Okay, well then what is it says nothing. Okay, so you're just not going to accept the
says to me, how many volts are going
why don't you just say I'm not prepared to accept any evidence that doesn't support
I want proof.
That is proof. That is an actual. What is your definition of proof, Pete? Tell me what your definition of proof is. Define proof.
They don't get it, do they?
No,
you don't get it.
You don't. You just said that's not proof to me, but then you won't tell us what your idea of what proof is. That's a fucking repeatable experiment.
You guys don't know what proof is.
Actually, we do. It only matters in the legal system and mathematics.
So you're telling me that science is not full of proof then?
No, it's full of evidence.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, absolutely. It's only filled with information. That information could be wrong. That information is
all right. Hang on.
Information in science can be wrong.
You guys are just presenting.
We know that. That's built into the scientific method. That's why we test things. That's why we form hypotheses. Maybe, just maybe, if you actually bothered to look up how science works, you would know that.
But I know how science works. I know
how
people work. People lie, deceive other people.
You just denied the power of a predictive model. Okay, do you understand that's anti-science? All right, that's the antithesis of the word science, is to deny a predictive model.
Can I just say one thing? What I do is that I actually go out and do some testing, so that I know for myself.
No, you don't.
Let's see. Do scientists also do that?
Now, I have tried.
That's why we have labs.
Tried putting 240 volts through lots of different types of water.
Wait,
he's doing it wrong.
I have gone to the conclusion that water does not conduct electricity.
At that voltage,
the impurities in water that will.
At that voltage.
Hey, Jared, will you send him an invite?
So, Pete, you said you use 240 volts.
Oh, the magic man?
No.
Pete.
Red.
You said the
magic man.
240 volts. I can try and put 240 volts through rubber, and it wouldn't do it.
Okay, 240 volts. Okay. Did you actually bother to convert it into DC?
And don't forget, it's 6 against 1 now.
No. It's It's still 1 or 2 on one, and you're welcome to bring your counterpart. He's welcome to come in as well. There's not a restriction on just you. We try to keep it civil so that only one person. The only reason we have so many people is because each one of us has a different specialty. Jay Brown used to be a submariner.
I'd argue that.
Listen. Jay Brown here used to be on a sub. You made comments about a sub. Microbloganism is a biologist. You made comments about fish. Geo is a chemist. You made comments about electrolysis. I understand physics. You made comments about Einstein's relativity. Every person on here has a legitimate reason.
And you're talking to a guy who has done just 2 years max at university. Okay,
then how do you feel like you're in a position?
In and out kind of thing. As a
wonderful
you feel
like you're in a position to do
life. And
what makes you feel like you're in a position to have a better understanding?
All we're doing is exchanging opinions. That's all we're doing.
Okay.
That's all we're doing, exchanging opinions.
Okay, so let's move on to you said that on the ISS it's impossible for them to breathe the oxygen for 2 reasons. Number 1, that you'd have a waste product, which is incorrect. And number 2, that a waste product, I'm sorry, in the water system, not in the air. And number 2, you have a position on them needing it would give them an oxygen toxicity level by breathing in pure oxygen for more than
absolutely.
12 hours.
I'm well aware of oxygen toxicity and the problems of breathing in pure oxygen for long periods of time. So go for it. Yeah, go for it.
You do know they don't have pure oxygen on the ISS because it's a fire hazard.
Can I just correct
you? They haven't used pure oxygen in spacecraft since I think the Apollo missions.
Well, I did read a web page. You see, I go on the information that's out there because but I did read a web page.
I think I do that too.
On the International Space Station, they at some point they were using electrolysis, allegedly, to create their oxygen.
Yes, and then
using an oxygen generator. But apparently they stopped doing that. They use crates of. They send up crates of air.
No, hang on. They do generate their own oxygen source, but here's the thing: the atmosphere that they are in is not purely from that source. It's also the exhale from the people who are there.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing?
Obviously, it's also the rest atmosphere that was brought up with the spacecraft.
Yeah, that you don't absorb like the argon and nitrogen.
So saying they are supposedly in a pure oxygen environment is a fallacious claim to begin with. Well, you are lying, sir.
Well, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, as far as I'm aware, the Apollo missions from 11 onwards, and the Gemini, when they went up there, they were using pure oxygen at low pressure, around 5 psi.
Apollo 1, again, added to the atmosphere.
Give out this information.
Again, added to the atmosphere, which is also mixed with the exhalations of the astronauts in the craft.
Well, there's a lot of information that these guys need to correct. Well, there's obviously a lot of information that you guys need to amend.
The sources. If you want to bring your butt buddy on instead of wanting to play the victim card, we can hear him in the background.
Tell him to come on in, grab his mic. It'll even it up a little bit. So go ahead and come on in, Peter. You're Pete.
He's happy just wandering around the room, listening.
Okay. No, that's fine. We can hear him in the back. So
he can come on the panel.
Actually hear what he's saying. Yeah, if he speaks loud enough, we can actually hear what he's saying.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the mic's pretty good.
Also, would you agree that the same system used on the ISS stream to generate its own oxygen inside of a contained environment? Would you not agree that that's
Can you repeat? Say that again, because I didn't get that. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry. The idea, I was saying that it's the same idea, the same concept of providing oxygen to astronauts on the ISS is the exact same concept as providing oxygen to people on a submarine, correct? You made this claim, so I'm kind of feeding into something.
Because a submarine has access to fresh air, so as a snorkel, submarines have snorkels, so they only probably.
But what about when we can't go to snorkel depth, periscope depth?
we actually have a submariner on here, so I'm going to kick it over to Jay Brown and let him speak to you for a minute from the perspective of someone who operates.
It's amazing, lovely, yeah.
So as you can see by my avatar here, that I have this U.S. submarine warfare insignia. I have qualified on submarines. I know how submarines work pretty much inside and out.
Sure. Have you been on a submarine?
That's the only way you can get it is by being on it.
Well, I don't know. You can get a qualification these days, and not even a degree. Not even
hang
a
on.
university. You
no,
can buy one.
No, hang on.
No.
Your military warfare quals, you have to be actively deployed on that platform to get it. Jay Brown has the subsurface because he was a submariner. I have both the aviation warfare and enlisted surface warfare because I was on an aircraft carrier, so I dealt with both air and surface. The only way to get it is to actively be there.
So what's your guys' understanding of how people breathe on a submarine?
What my understanding is what I know because I've actually done it. We actually use electrolysis, and how we get that is through we use distilled water. And what we do is we put it through an electrical oxygen generator that uses electrolysis. I actually will bring up a link here in just a minute that I'll give to you that is from a documentary about submarine service. Now, we don't just use the oxygen from the oxygen generators. We also can scrub the atmosphere with chemicals like amine, among other things, and a charcoal to absorb the CO2 to help bring up the oxygen levels. But with the electrolysis, we get the byproduct of hydrogen. And I've heard that you claim that it would be like having a bomb on board. Is that correct?
As far as I'm aware, no.
Okay. I've just heard. I'm not trying to accuse you.
I don't. Of the stuff that I've seen, I don't think he's made that comment or that claim yet.
Right. I've heard other things away from you, Skeptic, about people saying stuff, and I wasn't sure if it was from him or not. That's why I wanted to ask the question. But anyways, we actually diffused that out through the stabilizer fins on the stern planes of our submarines. Is there any particular question you'd like to ask me about the specific atmosphere system?
Yeah, can I just do so let me get this right. Did you actually work on a submarine?
Yes, I did.
What was your position?
I was what's called a navigation electronics technician. I dealt with the
so you didn't
hold on. I'm trying to explain what it is. I was a quartermaster, which is the navigation of the ship. I was an electronics technician, which dealt with the gyroscopes of the ship. And I was an interior communications man who dealt with the actual atmosphere monitoring and lining up the systems to keep the atmosphere clean.
Can I ask, how is it possible you did so many different roles?
Because the Navy had to cut down on the number of people on a submarine.
People would have their separate job.
Can I answer this because I'm also ex-Navy and
I've not been.
Let me tell you, in the military, it's not as compartmentalized as you would think. Like I was stationed on a very secluded base, so we didn't have a lot of people that were there, military people that were there. So I did jobs that what Jared would normally do as an aviation electronics tech. I was a simple ground electronics tech. But I would do his job as well because we didn't have that many electronics techs, and it used the same technology. But for him, go ahead.
You yourself, that was Team Skeptic speaking, wasn't it?
Yes, that was me.
Yeah, you yourself didn't work on a submarine.
No, well, I didn't work on a submarine. I'm speaking on I'm saying on the Navy. I'm saying in the Navy, what you get.
I'm just listening to your opinion.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying in the Navy, you have one job you're assigned, but you work multiple jobs that you're qualified for.
And actually, on a submarine, because of how limited the space is, we have to have people that do other jobs. I wasn't just qualified those three jobs in my rate. I was also qualified Oxford, which is the group who pumps the sanitary tanks overboard, which is the ones who run the oxygen generators. I've also been I was working on qualifying sonar operator. I was qualified radar operator.
Can I ask you, have you worked in the submarine on an oxygen generator?
Yes, I have.
Right, okay. So how do you know that it was generating oxygen?
Because I've actually taken the thing apart. We have had it taken apart, and I have helped put it back together.
So who took it apart? Did you take it apart? Was the sub submerged in the water when you took it apart?
We were submerged down to one oxygen generator.
I don't know.
I'm trying to tell you, but if you would please be quiet so I can tell you, we had to take down our primary oxygen generator because it needed maintenance done. In order to do that, we actually physically have to take it apart, take the paneling off of it, pull all the parts out, clean them, and fix them.
Yeah, sure. But how do you know it's producing oxygen?
Because you can actually take the panels off and watch it.
Testing after repair. It's a wonderful thing.
After repair. Right. Okay. Well, I'm still not convinced. I mean, I hear.
I'd be more than happy to go on. I'd be more than happy to come where you're at. See if we can get on the submarine. I can walk through.
Okay.
I mean, I can come to wherever you are. I could go into just about any submarine, and within a few minutes, know where I'm at, know what I'm looking at, and it wouldn't have even had to have been on that submarine before to show you where things are at.
In a brief, concise.
So I mean, here's the thing: you want proof, but you won't accept proof from us.
No, that's because you're not giving me proof. You're just giving me your word. Now I'm aware that in society,
what is your definition of proof?
People will lie just to support their own view and opinion. I've heard people say
that doesn't mean that every person lies.
An aircraft. Now, when they look at it again, when they look at it again through the window, they can't see curvature. I'm talking to people. A lot of the time, the people I talk to don't know who they truly are. Their minds are messed up. They're messed up individuals. Okay. I have to just take what they say very cautiously. Doesn't matter who they are.
So, okay, hold on, Pete. I want to ask you. We're gonna ask you one more question or a few more questions, but I think we're gonna get off of the.
I was gonna. Excuse me. Can I just add something?
Yeah.
This is about the submarine, because our understanding of submarines is that they use the seawater. They use seawater. They use seawater. They filter the seawater.
We don't filter it. We distill it.
Distill it or boil it. It would be advisable to filter it first, because then you get rid of the large impurities.
It goes through a filter as soon as.
So you don't want octopus in your distilled water.
Part of the process of taking seawater aboard ship is it immediately hits a filter for that reason.
Well, so I was right. I was right. So you didn't need to.
It's part of the skin of the ship itself.
So you didn't need to put in. Right, I'll continue.
No, I was correcting your point.
So it goes through a filtration system. Then it is boiled to become distilled water. Oh, it doesn't conduct electricity.
Oh, it doesn't conduct any electricity.
Oh, dear. So what we'll have to do is we'll have to add an electrolyte to that water to produce the oxygen. Oh, whoopee-doo. So all you've got in the submarine is a big electrolysis unit.
Here's the thing. Our oxygen generators are very high voltage and high energy equipment. We don't have to add the electrolytes if we don't need to. We do add them.
You cannot electrolyze water on its own. Can't do it. You cannot get oxygen and hydrogen from just
with a high enough voltage. You
can, because water doesn't contain oxygen and hydrogen. It's low. You get it from your sodium hydroxide or your potassium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide is one of the best things to use as an electrolyte to produce.
Listen, Pete, listen to what I'm trying to say. Okay. Number one, no one's hold on. Yes, we are. Listen.
You guys want to cling hold of your illusions.
Let me speak. Nobody is saying that you can't electrolyze. Oh my God, Pete, listen to me, please.
Oh my God. Okay, let me show you how it's done.
Right. Please go ahead.
Do you see how I did that? Do you see how easy that was? Much better.
God, Pete, listen. Nobody is saying that you cannot. Nobody's saying that that an electrolyte will not help you advance or make it easier for you to electrolyze the water. What they are saying is that it is not impossible to electrolyze pure H2O, and that is what happens on a sub. That is what happens in the ISS.
Right.
They are electrolyzing distilled H2O.
Right, okay.
The proof is that
hold on. No, wait. Shut up. Now,
no, you shut up.
We would like to correct you all, and you cannot electrolyze water alone.
Got that part. You said it multiple times.
And
Now I would like to explain why
then
that's
it becomes
bullshit.
a solution, and you are electrolyzing that solution. Absolutely. If you guys think we're wrong, why don't you guys get off your backside, stop talking
listen, I'm telling you, microbloggism and GeoStriber are off of their ass with fucking drink.
Let's see the video, okay? Let's see the video.
The link's in the side chat.
Let's stop debating.
No.
Okay.
Hey, Pete.
Pete, go out and let's see some hydrogen and oxygen from the water. You can't do it.
You're gonna have to keep your headphones on when you talk, so that way you can hear other people. Okay, keep your headphones on. Jay Brown was trying to tell you to watch the side chat, or to watch the video on the side.
I have a link to the video that I was describing earlier that discusses how we do it on a submarine. As a matter of fact, this is the class of submarine that I qualified on. If you go to about the 4-minute, 30-second mark, they are discussing how the oxygen generators work on the submarine. I don't want Team Skeptic to put up on here because I don't want him to get a strike against his channel. I have provided you the proof.
Yeah, no, you haven't. You said that you can review it. Is a video of people discussing.
No.
Talking about it.
No.
That's what we're doing.
Anyways, by the way, I'm also sharing my screen here, Team Skeptic. Here's the definition of proof. The evidence is sufficient to establish a thing is true or to produce belief in its truth. Anything to serve as such evidence. Number 3, the act of testing or making trial of anything, test or trial.
I'm
sorry, I can't accept that definition. You guys might.
That is the general colloquial definition of proof.
We wouldn't be here.
Proof technically relates to math.
I understand. Hey, I understand.
Everybody.
I'll be speaking in about 10 seconds.
Red, you go ahead, Red.
Thank you. Let me go ahead and
oh, it's ready. Hello, ready.
For fuck's sake. All right, much better. Okay, so as I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted again. What I consider proof is something that would act a certain way within an oxygen environment and then showing them producing such an oxygen-rich environment. Something that might have an atmosphere of pure oxygen, for example. In the link that was just provided by Jay Brown, I see them doing just that at the 4-minute, 30-second mark. There is an actual experiment being done. There is a very hot stick that's not on fire, but yet when put into an oxygen-rich environment, it will combust. There will be a visible flame present. What we see there is no flame. Put into that environment, there is a flame. Exactly what we would expect in an oxygen-rich environment. Now, if you wish to say that that is not evidence, I just respectfully request you get your head out of your ass and look again.
Can I just say, where's the water coming to this? Yeah, we're discussing hydrogen and oxygen from water. So you're talking about oxygen, but where's the water?
Well, they're not obviously carrying the water with them.
Well, no, we're talking about, look,
they're getting it from the sea.
You guys firmly think that oxygen and hydrogen make up water. Two gases at room temperature can be a liquid, okay?
Yeah!
I'm asking
what kind of idiot are you?
And you guys haven't come up with anything.
Hold on. Microbloggism has something to say.
No,
that was Geo.
No, hang on. I just got here. Let me answer this.
You guys can't do
it. And yeah, I know. He's going to ramble on for a bit, not make any fucking point. Let him just wear himself out, and then I'll respond. Go ahead, Pete.
He won't, because there's 2 of them. He won't
there's
out.
2?
like I said, Skeptic, I really recommend you take control of or use the control.
Shut the fuck up. I'll see you.
I really recommend.
Did I hear you correctly that we're not dealing with one dumb fuck, we're dealing with 2?
Yes,
there's two of them sharing a mic and something else. Now, I like I said before, I really wish Skeptic, or I really want Skeptic to take the liberal use of the control room options here. And if someone like Geo that actually knows what he's talking about wants to say something that will take some time to get through, I really recommend not necessarily mute, but turn down the volume.
Okay.
So someone can actually get through their information without getting overtalked every third word.
That sounds like a plan. So
now,
moving on, hang on.
Can I just say
looking
something?
at the link that was just posted by Jay, you actually see the water is in the flask. There's a before and then there's an after, showing that the atmosphere that they're looking at is not oxygen rich. Yet after doing what you say is not fucking happening, there is now an oxygen rich environment. Now, if you're not going to accept that as evidence or proof or whatever, then it is up to you to give us something, give us some criteria to aim for in which you will be satisfied. Otherwise, we're going to be shooting in the fucking dark here. That's what's being said here.
Sure. Can you?
Which is what was asked earlier. What is your definition of proof, Pete?
What would you accept? What would you honestly accept? What do I have to do? I mean, I'm a fucking nobody from Florida, but I got connections. So you tell me what you would need, and I'll make sure to get it. And then when it is there, I want to see what kind of mental gymnastics you do at that time. Tell me what to shoot for.
And Pete and Peter, be very careful with your words, because that is all we have to go on, the actual words that come out of your mouth. Because when you were asked what you were looking for before, you said a video, not our words. You wanted a video. A video was provided, and you shat all over it.
I've not seen it. I've not seen it. Oh, Pete, look. Oh, Pete,
so what do you want?
No, but you've not seen. You've not seen it. Pete, oh, wow. There's a link.
You guys can. You guys can
the
answer
window on the right hand side.
This is where
you click on that.
We're actually wanting you to speak now.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
Can I just say something before we move on? And that is, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 of us, or if you include both of us, 8 of us in this chat. And I have to say, it's badly managed. Very badly managed indeed.
Yeah, but you won't stop. You won't fucking shut up and let someone answer your question, dude.
It's badly managed.
Yes. Okay, so we're gonna start changing this up. Hey, Pete, you're right. You're 100% right here. Hey, you know what, Pete? Let me tell you something. You're 100% right, but let me explain something to you. We're gonna change this up a little bit. We're gonna have it much more structured, but I want you to answer the questions. Okay. Provide a question if you have one, and then don't give any conjecture. Don't talk for fucking 20 minutes, please. Okay? Just answer the question and provide one back so that we can answer it back and continue this conversation forward.
Can I say that out of all
is that agree?
So,
out of all the guys here,
and with the rules, and align with the rules, I would like us to go ahead and start right now. So if I ask him a direct question, he shouldn't be able to deviate or try to dodge it. He should have to answer it directly, correct?
Directly, correct.
Okay, so I will go ahead and ask my question one more time. If what was given to you is not good enough, what will you accept as evidence that water is what it actually is? Answer the question directly,
water
please.
is what? Water's water, or water is what? You're saying what water actually is. What actually is water? Because I've not seen any hydrogen or oxygen.
You know the fucking question.
What is water? Now, that's a very good question. What actually is water? Because I've not seen any hydrogen or oxygen, so it seems...
Answer the fucking question.
Okay, so let me go ahead and repeat one more time. I understand, Pete or Peter, whatever the fuck you want to call yourself, that this, your level of tracking is not very well. So I'm going to explain it slowly for you. There was an observation done, an experiment with water.
Really?
This water was connected to a flask that was not oxygen rich. And because it was not oxygen rich, the stick that they put into that environment didn't do anything, even though it was smoldering. With nothing but the presence of water and an electrical current, they were able to generate an oxygen-rich environment in which, when they put that smoldering stick into that environment, it burst into fucking flames. Now,
Really?
that to me is evidence of an oxygen-rich environment being made with nothing other than the presence of water and electricity. Now, if that's not good enough for you to prove that oxygen is a component of water, then what the fuck is? You may now go now.
Yeah,
because he's not really explaining himself properly.
Well, I think we'd have to see that because I couldn't take your word for it.
You won't link the video. It's in the fucking side chat.
But what he's failing to realise is that they must have put something in the water to become a solution.
No.
A solution.
Team Skeptic, I absolutely need my fucking minute now. I'm so sorry to interrupt you, but it's absolutely necessary. Okay, first of all, Pete and Pete, two comments I have to do. First of all, you said, I'm hearing myself again.
Yeah, somebody echo.
You said you don't believe that two gases can form a liquid at room temperature. The chemical properties of water are actually determined by the way the water molecule is formed. For example, in water, you have something called hydrogen bonds, which is responsible for the extremely high melting point of such a small molecule. Yep. And second of all, I would like to offer an experiment that you can perform to actually prove this to yourself. What do you think about that? You may answer.
I'm waiting for you.
I'm waiting for you to tell me what the experiment is.
No, he just asked the question, are you interested in the experiment? That necessitates a response in the affirmative or the negative. Yes or no, that's all you need to say.
Well, yeah, obviously, yes.
Okay, so let me explain. Let me explain this.
As if we're...
Hey, so let me explain this experiment to you.
Go for it.
Okay, you take a determined amount of distilled water.
Distilled water, right? Okay.
Okay, and then you add a known amount of an electrolyte. For example, potassium.
No, sorry, you're adding the electrolyte.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start moderating here. Peter, if you speak when Gio is speaking, I'm going to mute your fucking ass.
No, Red, don't mute him. Please don't mute him.
Well, I want to hear what you have to say, because some of us here are actually interested.
Okay. So what you're going to do is you add, you know your amount of water, and you will have to know the amount of electrolyte you insert into it, you put into it. And then you start your electrolysis experiment. Now, you will be able to measure an amount of hydrogen that is forming and the amount of oxygen. And if it were true that only the electrolyte is forming the oxygen and the hydrogen gas, then the amount of gas you would get would not exceed the amount of electrolyte you would have added in moles. Obviously, you have to take into account the stoichiometric coefficient and everything like that. But if indeed the water is the thing that's electrolyzing, you will get more oxygen and more hydrogen than you added with the electrolyte. That's the experiment. Measure the amounts of gas you get from a known amount of electrolyte and see if there's a correlation between them.
And if that ain't good enough, Peter, what would be good enough? Still want an answer. No? Nothing? Okay.
Hello, guys.
Hey.
It got quiet. What the heck happened?
I'm waiting for an answer, Sean.
I don't think they realized I'm muted.
But you guys are just so stuck in your education. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, how dare we?
You guys have been to school or whatever, college, like me. You've been told that water is hydrogen and oxygen, and yet you've got no proof whatsoever.
Who just muted them?
I did on accident.
You guys really need to question your understanding of the world. I tell you,
Pete. What? Red, wait, please. So Pete and Pete number 2.
I like that. 1, 2, 3.
What?
It's diminishing. All right, diminishing.
Hello. What is actually wrong?
We're still here.
What do you guys think is factually wrong about my experiment? What problems do you have with
electrolyte? Yeah, because what's factually wrong with your experiment is that you're actually adding an electrolyte.
Okay, do you believe it?
Micro, don't do this.
This guy asked a question and I'm replying, so don't butt in. Now, you're adding an electrolyte to water, which means you're changing the composition of the water. So, for example, if you have distilled water and you add salt, sodium chloride to the water, you will have a sodium chloride solution. Yes or no?
That's correct. But
thank you. Now,
wait,
when you
stop. My answer is not finished. 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 You will start electrolyzing chlorine gas, but the amount of chlorine gas will not be bigger than the amount of sodium chloride you added. As soon as all the chloride is out, is oxidized away to chlorine gas, you will not have further formation of chlorine gas. You will start getting oxygen on the cathode. No, anode, sorry, on the anode.
Thank you for being a voice of reason and sanity in this stream. Just point that out there, Gio.
Sure.
So it seems like what we're... Okay, Gio, just because I'm ignorant here, let me ask a clarifying question. You're basically adding a known amount of electrolyte. And when you provide, or when you actually do the electrolysis process, you're going to get more than what you put in.
That's correct. Yes. When you're doing electrolysis with sodium hydroxide, and if their claim was true that only the electrolyte is being electrolyzed, then the mass of hydrogen and oxygen you would get out of this would be identical to the mass of hydrogen and oxygen that would be put in with the electrolyte.
Because
if however, the water is being electrolyzed directly, then the amount of oxygen and hydrogen you're going to get is going to be bigger than whatever you put in there.
So basically, you can't get any more out than what you put in, but yet this is showing that there is more than what we put in.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that seems fairly conclusive to me. That would definitely convince any normal, rational thinking individual on this planet, and I'm wondering why anyone would disagree. Care to jump in, anyone who might disagree with that?
Well, I actually have a foundational question to Pete and Peter. And again, simple yes or no answer is all that is required.
Wait a minute, microblog. Denying the conservation of mass in 3, 2, 1. So, Peter, yeah, question stands though. Jared, before you ask yours, I would like that one. Because what Alex, or we call him Gio, or that one fuck from Germany, whichever you prefer.
No, that one is called Sly.
Thank you. We are describing here the simple fact of conservation of mass. You can't get any more out than what you put in. But this experiment is showing that we are getting more out than the amount of electrolyte that we put in.
Well, so, we're getting a change. You're getting continuous gas after the electrolyte has been utilized, which is your catalyst to start the process in this small scale.
Mm-hmm.
The difference and the reason why the catalyst is required in the situation that Gio proposed is because you are using rudimentary, residentially available voltage to get it started. An industrial complex, an industrial application is not going to have the same requirement.
Or you can use something to step up your household voltage.
Yeah, but how many people really want to play with that kind of transformer? Granted, I would.
Well, just break a couple of microwaves and you're
that's only because
you're good.
That's only because you're crazy, Jared. But yes, question still stands, Pete or Peter or whatever the fuck you want to call yourself. I'm still wanting to hear what you would accept if this is not good enough, because it seems a very basic explanation utilizing the known concept of conservation of mass. Gio explained it quite accurately and thoroughly and to my satisfaction. So why does it not satisfy you? And what would satisfy you? No sexual reference here.
Yet.
You guys do have to unmute in order for us to hear your answer.
How many of you want to bet that they've been talking this entire time and didn't actually realize they were muted?
I bet you 4 euro cents.
I think you mean not American money.
I mean Germany.
You can unmute and answer.
All right, just because I know they're going to bitch about this. Team Skeptic, Jared, and Geo, you guys know my question. Please hold their feet to that fire. I am going to do this one thing called a job, so I got to go. Peace out.
See you later,
Red.
And with that, for clarification for all, Team Skeptic did have to step away for a short bit to take care of something unexpected that just popped up within the last 5 minutes. So I will be acting as mod in the interim until his return.
I am.
Pete and Pete, you're still muted. I'm still curious about your answer.
Well, let's go mute it.
There we go.
Okay.
So they haven't been paying attention either. That's good.
Oh, we could have given him a wave.
Oh, we could have given him a wave, whoever that was in the car. Hello, man in car.
Yeah.
That is Sean Hufford.
Oh, right, yeah, he does he tries to do the debunking flat Earth,
Sure.
especially with the guy from Hoylake to
Anthony Riley.
Anthony
Well,
Riley.
I'm glad you know who I am.
Well, I don't, but Peter does.
Yeah. You don't look very happy. Put a smile on your face.
Sing a song while you're driving.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm driving
Yeah, I
down
don't
the
do that.
road.
Well, he's stuck in Indiana. He doesn't have a
okay.
reason to smile.
No, no. Do you know Indiana Wants Me by Ardeen Taylor?
Still waiting for them to address Geo. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pete,
I am
could you please
so
do me a
mad.
favor and answer my question?
Yeah, sure. Go for it. Yeah, I'm waiting.
So you weren't listening at all for the last 8
So
minutes.
yeah. So if there's any doubt left, they're not interested in actual discourse.
Well, I thought you guys were talking to yourselves, so you know.
Okay,
No,
Pete, I'm going to explain this to you again. And as soon as I'm finished, please do me a favor and repeat what I said so that I understand that you got it.
Keep it
Okay,
short.
great. Yeah, okay. So the experiment that I propose is you take an amount of water that you know the mass of or the volume of, and you take an amount of electrolyte of mass of, for example, which I would suggest sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you do an electrolysis experiment with it. And you measure the amount of gas that you get. And then you compare the amount of mass of the gas that you get to the amount of mass of the electrolyte. If the electrolyte is being electrolyzed, then the mass of the gases you would get will not exceed the mass of the electrolyte you put in. However, if the water itself is being electrolyzed, then you would get more gas than you would expect from the electrolyte alone.
Not necessarily.
Well, I think you're assuming things. I think you're assuming that the electrolysis process doesn't actually alter a lot of the constituent parts of your electrolyte and the water as well. You'll get water being absorbed into. You might get water being absorbed into the electrodes. You might get, so it's evaporation.
How is it relevant? The amount of water is not going to get bigger.
Well, I don't know. You see, one thing I've not done, and that is I've not actually tried weighing.
You don't need to,
because I don't need to. But I've not actually done weighed an electrolyte.
So you haven't done a quantitative experiment. Is that what you're saying?
What I think you guys, what you should do is you should get your potassium hydroxide, for example, or sodium hydroxide, whatever. You want to work out from a set amount of sodium hydroxide how much oxygen and hydrogen you can produce from that. Okay, and by whatever method other than electrolysis, and then you should put it in solution, electrolyze it, and then see what amounts you get. That way, you will know whether you've got the same amounts or what, or whether you would get your water would be kind of like involved in the process or whatever. Now that would be a wonderful way. Yeah, you can't. Have you done that?
Time out. I have a question. I just want to make sure that. No, I have a question on what you just proposed to make sure that I understand you correctly. Are you saying that the theoretical projection should be done based on a methodology that is not the one you are testing?
Can you just simplify your question?
When you were explaining your setup, you were saying predict based on heating up the water how much gas you should get from it. Not electro. Those are the words that came out of your mouth. This is what I said earlier. Choose your words carefully.
For example, and how much oxygen is in a content of a certain amount of sodium hydroxide. Okay, you should be able to know how much you can, how much of those gases you can get. Now you should use.
Yes, and I can calculate this live. If I have a known amount.
Of sodium hydroxide, and then you should check to see whether you will get the same amounts by your electrolysis. Now, if you don't get the same
again, predicting it from one method to another, that is a false premise to begin with. That is a flawed starting point.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No,
so Pete,
no, it's not. If you're saying that sodium hydroxide contains oxygen and hydrogen, then you should know how much is in that sodium hydroxide.
And I can calculate this live.
Electrolysis, okay, in a sodium hydroxide solution to be able to then verify whether you get the same amounts of hydrogen and oxygen.
Yeah.
Okay?
I can calculate this.
Can
you please let me
If it doesn't make sense to you, that's not my problem.
If I have a known amount of potassium hydroxide or any salt that contains hydroxide or whatever, I can directly tell you how much hydrogen and oxygen is in there.
Well, so how do you do that?
By taking the molar masses of the salt, finding out what's actually the amount of moles of the individual atoms in there, and then multiplying it with the molar mass of the individual atoms.
So you're weighing it.
Mass is not
pretty much, yeah.
But so how do you separate the hydrogen and the oxygen? How do you do that? Tell me. How do you do that?
The chemical you are putting into the solution has a known formula.
Jared, let me try to explain this to them. You can actually measure how much hydrogen is in hydroxides by heating them up, interestingly, because you will get the oxide of the particular metal plus water as a split-off product just by heating them up. For example, if you have magnesium... If you have magnesium hydroxide, for example, that's MgOH2. Well, MgOH in is one unit. So MgO2H2 is the complete formula. And you heat that up, you will get magnesium oxide, MgO, and you will get a molecule of water. So we can directly derive the amount of mass you're going to expect.
Yeah, can I just say something? The trouble with what you've just put forward as a suggestion, and that is you are taking your sodium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and you're producing something other than the oxygen and the hydrogen. You're producing, as you would say, water. So therefore, when you check your quantities of oxygen and hydrogen, when you electrolyze it, they'll be different, won't they? So that is not a very good way of verifying how much oxygen and hydrogen is contained within a certain amount of magnesium hydroxide. You'll have to do better.
That's not correct.
I'm sorry.
Let me explain this to you.
You're not making sense.
Let me explain this to you.
You're saying that there's so many 18 currents in a cake, then if you cut it up or if you bake it, you should still find 18 currents in that cake, shouldn't you?
Let me explain this to you.
Yeah.
The total amount of the total amount of atoms is not going to change.
But you're creating. You've told me that when you do magnesium hydroxide, you're creating an additional kind of like substance, which is water.
Okay. Here's what's going to happen.
Okay, so obviously you're telling me that hydrogen and oxygen make up water.
Listen to me.
So the oxygen
Listen to me. Okay.
I am listening to. I've listened to you.
Obviously, you're not if you're interrupting me constantly.
I'm just trying to make you understand where you're going wrong. Your thinking is incoherent. It's incohesive.
I would like to make my point. So, what you're going to do is you measure the amount of let's go for potassium hydroxide. Okay? Then you heat it up. You will get potassium oxide and you will get water. The mass of the potassium oxide is known and the mass of the water is known. And both of them added will add up to the mass of the potassium hydroxide you put in there. Therefore, from the different ratios, you can derive how much of the individual potassium, how much mass of the individual potassium hydroxide is lost during the heating process. Therefore, you can gain information about how much the individual atoms actually weigh.
I need to stop you there. You need to be looking at, we're talking about hydrogen and oxygen here, the separate gases. Okay, we're not talking about anything else. You are providing a substance and you are undergoing a heating up process, which you are saying produces water. Okay.
Yeah, it's called a chemical change.
So you've got water and you've got hydrogen and you've got oxygen and you've got magnesium oxide, potassium oxide.
Yeah, whatever any metal.
You've got all of these things, but when you electrolyze it, okay, you're going to have different substances.
That's correct, but as I said, the total amount of atoms will not change.
But how much hydrogen and oxygen is in the water you've created?
55.56 moles per liter.
It's crazy talk.
He just told you.
How much water is in water? 55.56 moles
and oxygen is in the water. Yeah? How much hydrogen and oxygen was used up to create the water? I'm going with what you're saying. How do you know that?
Okay, in 1
You're
liter
not even
of
telling
water,
me how you know that there's hydrogen and oxygen in water.
In 1 liter of water, there will be 111 grams.
Excuse me. How do you know that the water isn't produced from the condensation? Absolutely.
I already told you.
Hold on. Would you agree that there is moisture in air? Yes or no?
You guys are asking me,
and you're going to burn the magnesium in air.
You answer the question.
So
you guys are asking me various questions simultaneously. First of all, you ask me how much hydrogen and oxygen is in water. If you're going by mass, in 1 kilogram of water, there will be about 111 grams of hydrogen and the rest will be oxygen. That's by simply using the molar masses of the individual atoms. Because you have a total mass of 18 grams per mole for water, if that's the standard isotopes, so 16 oxygen and 1 hydrogen.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd really need to ask, how do you verify in your experiment or in your demonstration of calculating your conservation of mass, how do you determine that there is H2O in waters? There's 2 hydrogens to 1 oxygen. How do you determine that in your...
Back to the beginning of this.
Garrett, that's simple. You can find out the amount of, or the ratio between the two. First of all, by IR spectroscopy. That's quite easy. Second of all, by the electrolysis itself, because you will get 2 equivalents of volume for hydrogen and 1 equivalent of volume for oxygen. And according to the ideal gas law, every gas, no matter how heavy it is, will have the same molar volume. Therefore, you have a 2-to-1 ratio.
Can I ask when you electrolyze magnesium oxide, what color flame do you get from burning the gas collected at the
non sequitur?
Yes. First of all, that depends on your apparatus.
Why does it depend on your apparatus?
For example, because when you're using a you're using
with what gas is given off, because it's not hydrogen.
I'm explaining this to you. For example,
but you don't need to, because I've already worked it out.
You have not.
I've already sussed it out.
For example, when you try to burn your hydrogen and you plug it through a wire, for example, and you light the end of that hollow wire to that's where the hydrogen burns, then you will get automatically excited atoms out of the wire by the heating. You will have to make sure that there's no second element involved whatsoever that can have an influence on this.
Absolutely, yeah, sure. But you see, the thing is, you've got to. How do you know that your gas is contaminated?
How do I know my gas is contaminated? By plugging it through a spectrometer.
Or it's not contaminated. You can't do a flame test, can you?
There are more accurate ways than a flame test.
Yes, the flame test.
We're talking about flame tests.
There are more accurate methodologies.
Jared.
You've got spectroscopy. So if everyone sees a lilac flame, then you put spectroscopy is going to give you a lilac frequency, isn't it? Yeah. You know what I mean? But you can't have yellow because our eyes can't see yellow.
Of course, our eyes can see yellow. Otherwise, you wouldn't have.
What are you talking about?
Really? I'm looking at yellow-colored raw.
We don't have yellow. We don't have cones to pick up yellow frequency.
Yes, we don't have. Actually, we do. The what we traditionally refer to as red tones are actually more. Actually, have their peak absorption in the yellow-green area.
Yeah, you do realize that yellow is a prime color. It can't be made from any other color.
You do realize that how cones actually work, right?
I really don't. You tell me. You know.
Okay, let me tell you. It's not the three types of cones aren't. They don't only pick up the color at one single wavelength. They have a spectrum within, and they overlap. Your brain can work out the color by using that overlap. So if your eyes are hit by yellow light, you will activate both the red and the green cone, and your eyes can work out yellow from that.
But red and green don't make yellow. How do you get yellow?
Yes,
they do. They create yellow.
I literally just fucking explained that to you. Well, you're not.
Hold on. You're literally taking the paint color scheme and trying to apply it to light.
Hang on, all. This is actually going back to what I mentioned before as a foundational question that really at this point is extraordinarily relevant for me to ask. And it is to you, Pete and Peter. Again, single word response, yes or no. Unmute to let me know you are ready to listen to my question.
No.
Thank you. You have stated that you have done the work to verify your beliefs, and
I don't have beliefs.
I am not done with the question.
You should.
I am not done with the question, you motherfucker.
Yep.
So, you stated previously that you have done work to verify your stance. My question, which is a foundational one, is a very simple yes or no. Could you be wrong? Could your conclusions be incorrect? Yes or no? That is the only word that should come out of your mouth as soon as you speak.
Well, to answer your question, could we be wrong? I'd say no.
Then there's no point.
We are dealing with dishonest people. We are dealing with disingenuous fucks people. That right there
figured that out.
It. Now figured that out. No, I just confirmed it. I confirmed it.
We have dishonest people in the chat room. Exterminate.
Fuck
now,
off.
I was watching this until I was actually able to get on the call because of work. And the entire time, from the time that he started talking, first of all, your qualifications of having 2 years in psychology gives you no qualifications to talk about physics. Never. You actually should have not given me
that's just an opinion
at all.
That's just your opinion.
No, it's not an opinion.
Everyone's.
Now, beyond that, every time someone tries to answer a question directed from you, you constantly interrupt because you do not want to hear the answer. You, sirs, both of you, are worse than Anthony. At least he gives the opportunity to give an answer. You guys are so dishonest, you can't let anybody else speak. I'm done.
See you later then. All I'm hearing is people's opinions. That's all I'm hearing.
And whether people like them or dislike them.
Whether people like them or dislike them. Okay.
No, you asked for evidence. No, shut up.
Just to do a Google Hangout. People know what I'm like.
Every time you ask somebody for evidence and they start to present it, you constantly interrupt them. You will not let them present stuff. And when Geo finally gives some evidence, you say it's not.
But I don't want evidence. I want some proof. All I want you guys to do is get a bowl.
And when you were asked what you consider proof, you won't give an answer. That says it all right there.
That's because at first they wanted a video, they were provided a video, and then said it wasn't enough. That was strike two, by the way. That was strike two.
It's constant goalpost moving, and they're dishonest. That's all there is to it. They came in here talking about people lie, and they've done nothing but demonstrate that they lie every step of the way.
No. Hold on.
It's not just goalpost moving. They've pretty much the entire night. They've been desperately hunting to be able to commit the genetic fallacy. They've been digging at trying to find even the smallest holes. Right, and if someone says no to just one thing, everything you ever say since then or before that is invalid.
Can I try something?
I'm sorry, they lost 100% of respect for me when they kept on asking for evidence and proof, and when people tried to give it to them, they would not let them talk. They are dishonest.
They've showed the entire night. They've showed that they're not actually interested in discourse. All they're interested in is having another platform to spew their shit. Which I said they really should stop presenting lies. When they started the evening by saying that Skeptic was a bigot, right? And they're pretty much acting like bigots right now because in not so many or in not so few words, they're essentially saying that we can lie because everybody lies. That's essentially what their attitude has been so far this evening. Now, if they would actually live by what they preach or what they've tried to preach at the start of the evening, they wouldn't have acted the way they have done since.
Exactly.
Yeah, sure. To be honest with you, I mean, if people think that we're lying, that's your opinion. I'm not bothered.
No. Hang on.
Because as far as I'm...
Hold on. It is not an opinion when we have shown through your own behavior on multiple occasions now, just in this short time of this hangout, that you are in fact doing that. First, when I asked you about knowledge concerning the human eye and how vision actually works, you said no, and then you immediately wanted, well, not immediately, moments ago, you wanted to talk about the different cones and the different levels of light receptors within the human eye, and yet you wanted to deny the capability of people being colorblind. 1. 2, when asked if you, from a foundational standpoint, could you be wrong in your conclusions, you said no. That is a disingenuous position to hold. And we could go into 3 if you really want to, but you're not worth my energy anymore. And every time you go to interrupt someone, I will mute you so the person you are interrupting can finish their statement.
Please, sir, can I say something?
Please, can we say something?
Can we say something? Please, sir.
We're not at school, you know.
Are you apologizing for your behavior?
No.
You've got to be joking.
What I'd very much like to say is...
Not until you apologize for your disingenuous, dishonest behavior. Let's start from there.
No, this isn't blackmail. This is expecting you to behave like fucking adults.
You're still muted.
Yeah, let them stay that way.
I have a question to them, but I will let them finish before.
They won't let you answer it.
I will try. I don't care if they don't give an answer, but anyway. It seems they cannot count because we aren't 8 of them. We are 7 people here.
What a surprise! They can't count.
And they weren't paying attention when earlier I said that Team Skeptic actually had to step away, which is why after Red left, I had to take control of this. And even then, for the most part, a lot of us were keeping silent and letting them address whoever was addressing the point that was made. And you guys want to claim knowledge and understanding in so many different disciplines, which you continually demonstrate to not have the understanding of, which actually, this goes to a question that I wanted to answer at the very beginning of this, when you were being critical of calling out Team Skeptic for calling people idiots. And it's quite simple. The reason why people are called idiots from his standpoint, which is also similar to my own, is people who continually show to lack an understanding or lack of knowledge on a particular subject while attempting to speak as an authority figure. Those are the fucking idiots.
Yep.
So an example I wanted to give when he went off on this that whole initial rant, which I'm not sure why you started.
Oh, you broke up.
Oh, sorry? You're breaking up also.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm not sure why they started off with a hostile tone. My guess is they're trying to use bully tactics, much like how COs will do in negotiations, to put people on the defensive. Now, the example I wanted to use initially in this is saying, like, if you see someone glue bird feathers to their arms and jumping off of a cliff to try and they're being an idiot. It's not a personal attack to calling someone an idiot because they're behaving in an idiotic manner or doing an idiotic thing. And in that case, you're being an idiot. Just like, what's been going on all night.
And everyone is an idiot in some ways.
Oh, for sure.
Mm. The difference is that we acknowledge that we're idiots in certain ways.
Yeah, there are some disciplines that I don't know a lot about, and I will readily admit it. Yeah, but when you talk about a subject that I am intimately familiar with, and you say something wrong, I will provide the information to correct you.
Yeah, and also regarding their accusation to us that we don't like the truth. Well, if you like the truth, then you would admit that you could be wrong. But because if you think you can't be wrong about anything, then you cannot find the truth. Can you? My question was, what would happen if you put hydrogen gas and oxygen gas in one bottle and let them react? What do you get?
Yeah, it's a shame we didn't have the time to talk about fuel cells.
That would have been fun.
Now, shall I invite part-time vegan to this?
No.
I don't know, and I'm not even sure when Skeptic is going to be back. When he goes back and watches this, he will probably laugh. Which, by the way, this is going to be comical to me. I'm going to read this off to let the chat know about it as well. This is.
I just posted an image of it, but read it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You can read
yeah,
it.
I'm gonna read it, and I'm gonna read the response that I was in the middle of typing when they left. Now, mind you, they were not ejected, they were not sniped, they left. Just in case they try to claim otherwise later on. No, they left.
I didn't even notice they were gone.
They left Zoidberg style. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah.
But anyways, so to read it for everyone. Blackmail now, 7 of you guys, and no hydrogen and oxygen in water because they weren't fucking listening. You're acting like children and didn't want to even listen to what we had to say and unwilling to understand. At this point, I began typing my response.
That's not pot meat kettle. That is pot means shiny white porcelain jug.
No, it's pot looking in mirror.
Yeah. I don't understand. This is even worse than flat Earth because you can simply walk into a ordinary high school and ask the chemistry teacher to set up a simple experiment and watch.
We described those experiments. And
exactly.
Yeah. So, anyways, I can't understand why you guys bother with these hangouts. Well, when people are civil, we actually do get somewhere. Just watch how Antonio Subarats has behaved on the last couple hangouts on Red Rhetoric's channel.
Sean G had a real good hangout with us.
Yeah, another one. I mean, when they come in and they are able to act civil, they get civility in response. When they get civility and then start acting like a petulant child, they are then treated as such.
So keep in mind, they didn't start at some point to act like douches. The first thing they said was, "You're being a bigot, Skeptic."
Yeah, they introed with attacks on me, and I was like, "Look, bro, they're idiots because they're idiots." Like, and just to touch on what Houselayer was saying, because I was listening to this whole thing. When I call somebody an idiot, that's not an ad hominem attack unless I supplant evidence of their being incorrect with the personal attack. If I personally attack them and tell you why with evidence, then the evidence is the actual reason that they're wrong, not the personal attack.
So it's exactly like I stated. People who continually demonstrate a lack of understanding or a lack of knowledge while continuing to speak as if they have said knowledge or authority on the subject, they are fucking idiots.
And refusing to listen to people who actually know about those subjects.
Yeah, no, it's like they said, where's your evidence? And he said, well, here's the evidence. Well, that's not proof. Well, you didn't,
you want a video? Here's a video. Well, that's
not proof. Yeah, that's not
evidence. I love
evidence.
that they expect me to somehow hand over evidence for how the eyes work when that will require me to have a cell lab.
And that's what I'm going to say is that they expect you to pull out instrumentation here, put a video camera on it, just so they can tell you that you're not doing anything that they can understand anyway.
Yeah. Well, and in case someone takes issues with that statement, okay, it was very evident when Jay was it Jay Brown?
Yes.
Yeah. So they started a third-degree interrogation. Essentially, I was waiting for them to ask, well, did you physically remove the nuts yourself?
Yeah.
Because all they were looking for was a singular thing a person would say, no, I didn't do it to, and then they would throw out everything.
Yeah, they'd say, oh, well, not true then.
Talking about having lost their nuts, I think, that's also a little bit of projection there, being the case that they left.
Oh, yeah. Well, anyways, so to finish their comment before they took their ball and ran home, thanks every so much, guys, for your company. It's been wonderful. Be sure to check out our next upload. Gee, I wonder what it's going to be about.
Oh, I don't mind. I'll do a debunk video on them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you saw that. A misspelling of Yule. Love, misspelling of it. Got some work to do. Now,
by that, they mean, screw you guys, I'm going home.
Yeah, yes. Screw you guys, I'm going home. Well, I do want to say, now that they're not in here, I do want to say thank you guys for coming on. Not the ones that are on here now, but the two idiots that just left. Yes, I did call you idiots. You did act like idiots. You do deserve to be called idiots. I'll do you one better. Okay, you guys go ahead and put out your video. Enjoy your video. Make it put as much production value as you can in it, because I'm going to put very, very little into my production value, but I guarantee you that I will smash on your fucking faces when it comes to these fucking videos. So be on the lookout for one of my future uploads. And I think I'm going to go full idiot mode on them. I think they're going to be fucking idiots.
They deserve it. They deserve it.
From the beginning. And hey guys, did y'all notice how when they came on together, they fucking finished each other's sentences?
Oh yeah, it was fucking creepy.
They didn't just finish them; they set them in perfect harmony.
Like in
the fucking Shining.
Okay,
I think it got lost in there amongst that. But one of the big times that they said it, where it was one continuous statement that was being said by them, and it was going back and forth between the two voices. And I outright asked, "It's like, so how much have you guys practiced this? How much have you rehearsed it?"
I got that.
I think one they cannot both do the job of talking. So one has to remember the grammar, and the other one has to remember the pronunciation of certain words.
Yeah, but okay, so you weren't here at the beginning. The guy in the background was feeding him information. He was like, ask him about this.
So like I typed in
for fuck's sake. So regarding them finishing each other's sentences, are we 100% sure that they aren't Siamese twins that share half a brain? And I mean half a brain in total.
Less than
I was about to say that.
I actually said it in the chat. It was like 2 bodies, less than half a brain between them. But so my response that I started typing out to him was, we listened. You refused to listen to the responses. You have interrupted the most while crying about being interrupted yourselves. You are disingenuous, intellectually dishonest, and obstinate for no logical reason.
Yeah. And what's up with this magnesium or something? The electrolyte. Do they think that water is made up of magnesium, or
no? They think water is water.
Here's what I think. What they think, it's that as soon as you add an electrolyte to H2O, so add it to pure water, you will somehow change the chemical composition of the water itself, which is completely idiotic.
Yeah, because that would mean that like they're basically replacing chemistry with nuclear fusion and fission.
Yes.
Yeah, no,
that's exactly what it is.
It's alchemy, I think.
Alchemy.
Yeah.
They're making gold.
Blue Marble and Schrodinger's cat, if you guys are still out there listening, check your Discord.
I just wanted to say,
Blue Marble and Schrodinger's cat.
Okay, yeah. I meant to get both of them in here.
Just in case you missed it, Skeptic, because you were gone for a while. I typed it both here and in live chat though, but what you pointed out was I typed, I'm getting a serious Yuri and Premier Romanov vibe from those two. If you remember from Red Alert 2, if you ever played that.
Yes.
Nuclear fission is not chemistry, the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
No.
Chemistry only deals with the electrons. We don't pretty much give a fuck about the nucleus, apart from mass spectroscopy and
isotope chemistry.
Yeah, I was about to make this point, Micro. We only, for all we care about, the nucleus of an atom is a blob with a positive charge at determined mass and a spin. That's all we need.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody, let's welcome Blue Marble. We want to talk to Blue Marble for 1 second because Blue Marble's kind of down on his interaction with Part-Time Vegan on Red's Rhetoric channel. I wanted to tell you this, Blue Marble. There was something you didn't catch, man. When Part-Time Vegan knew what he was doing, okay? So what Part-Time Vegan had done was he asked you to present a model, okay? He said, show me a model of water sticking to a ball. And then he followed that up with saying, I know you're not going to be able to show me that model. Now he asked that question intentionally because he knew you couldn't show him the model. In fact, he even admitted that because it's impossible to do within the Earth's already, gravitational field. So that's why he asked you that
physical model. Yes.
You shouldn't have even tried to answer that question. You should have just been like, I can't do that inside of the Earth. If you need me to do it like in space, that would be impossible for me to show you.
He kind of said that though.
Yeah, that is what's his response.
That's kind of what he said.
You talking about Blue Marble or?
Yes.
Yes.
I think he dealt with that correctly.
Blue Marble, are you there?
Yes, Blue. Can we get a mic check?
You have to unmute yourself.
Yes.
Hey, there we go.
And Blue, I have to apologize because it's me who invited Part-Time to the hangout. I'm so sorry.
No, hey, that was a good experience for Blue. Blue, you need more interactions with people that are having a different opinion than yours, because I told you in the Discord that you're working with the correct model and the correct facts. So be confident in the information that you have. So don't worry about him. If he's gonna, if he's going to present you with things like not logical fallacies. What are the other fallacies that are non-logical when they ask you to do something?
Informal fallacies.
Yeah, informal fallacies, exactly. So when he asks you to do something like that, you just tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Tell him to re-ask his question in a non-fallacious manner.
Now, so a more fundamental problem with that is actually a problem of scale. I'm not talking just about gravitational attraction, right? I'm talking about how thin the oceans actually are, because it's kind of the same problem as what Antonio was referring to. He just showed a map without giving any more information, which fortunately I got the time to somewhat address at the end of the hangout when he joined. But the thing is, I did some back of the envelope numbers a while back, so I don't remember exactly, but I think it was 0.3 millimeter. Essentially, if you take the Earth and scale it down to the size of a basketball, and you were to cover that with a film of water that would represent the average depths of the oceans, that would equate to about a 0.3 millimeter thick layer of water.
May I address the chat for a second, please?
Hey, Gio. Hey, Micro.
Yes.
Hey,
hold on, Tornado. Go ahead, Gio.
Someone in this chat said, the truth of the matter said, I thought you all were chemists and you don't know what nuclear chemistry is. And nuclear chemistry actually deals with the chemistry of nuclear elements. No nuclear elements. What kind of idiot am I? Radioactive elements. Right. So chemists that deal with plutonium, uranium, pretty much all actinides, they're nuclear chemists. But they actually don't give a shit as well about the radioactivity. They're interested in the chemical properties, not in the radioactive properties.
Yeah, I kind of get it, because if a atom inside a molecule spontaneously decays into another atom, then it would obviously react or cause a reaction with the rest of the molecule.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a running gag in my laboratory that says that tritium is actually the best leaving group for a molecule.
Jared, did you invite Schrodinger's cat in here?
Okay.
Yeah, Schrodinger, check Discord.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure that he was invited too. He actually wanted to come on while Pete and Peter were on here, but I guess they must have just gotten out right before I got in, because when I got done with what I was doing, they were still in the hangout as I was walking back to the back.
They really got destroyed. Team Skeptic. You should have let me in there when they were talking about the...
No, I can't do that, man. There was too many people already, and you're just a little too intense with every time you speak. So,
I mean, they were talking about my...
Tornado. No, they weren't talking about pyrotechnics. They mentioned one thing about it. No, they mentioned one thing about it. And
flame test. That's all.
They were not talking about pyrotechnics, and the fact that we had a chemist, a biologist, and several people on here that could speak from the physics nature, that was plenty. But yes, thank you for... I know you had to come on, but I didn't want them to feel overwhelmed, which they already fucking did. Fucking scary fucking idiots.
Honestly,
we got a lot of internet between us, Pete and Peter.
I actually typed in the actual formula with the NaCl plus...
Yeah, we have Geo in here.
Yeah, that's what we were trying to say. We have a chemist, a full-blown chemist that doesn't... I'm not a chemist, so anything that I say right or wrong...
Yeah, we have a full metal chemist here.
Full metal chemist.
I get it.
And I wanted to question them about their fish claim. I wanted to question them about their fish claim, because I actually did a little bit of research on that last night. And... yeah, they're fucking idiots. They don't understand how fish work. But that's the thing. They made all these claims in their video. If they didn't make these claims, I would not have had any ammunition against them. They made these claims that fish don't breathe air out of the water. They made these claims that humans don't breathe out carbon dioxide. They made these claims. I mean, everything they said was something that they actually asserted. It wasn't something that I just assumed.
Well, remember, they can't be wrong.
Yeah,
never mind. The fish have gills, and they have hemoglobin. They also seem to have mitochondria. In fact, they seem to have much the same system as we do, except for the gills.
Oh God, I know what I got to do in honor of.
It's almost as if they use the same source of the same source of energy as us, and the same way of getting it.
Did you guys notice that they mentioned the Winkler test?
Yeah, I'm not sure what is that.
Okay, I'm pretty sure they're mixing up two different things. So the Winkler test actually measures how much oxygen is dissolved inside water. not how much oxygen is actually inside the water molecules. You can dissolve oxygen gas in water to a limited amount, otherwise fish would die. And the Winkler test is a quantitative method of actually measuring how much oxygen is dissolved in it.
God, I wish there was
that needs to be the thumbnail for the.
thumbnail.
Well, there goes my sleep.
This is going to be the new.
Love this image.
I love the little H2O in the.
You know, if you send me that image,
be a subscript.
Yeah, if you send me that image, I can animate certain things.
Give me a second, Housewife. I'll forward it over to you.
Oh Lord!
I would suggest, let's say, pumping movement under the blanket.
The other hand, the invisible hand.
I would very much suggest that whoever's on the receiving end close the eyes.
No, you turn the irises into the skull.
Housewife, I sent it over to you on Discord.
Have the guy on the right and the guy on the left have their eyebrows going up and down at different rates. Like they're like, hey, you down? Oh yeah.
Dude, I already have a few animations set.
Oh yeah. Skeptic, let Housewife work his magic. You will not be disappointed.
Not a problem, Housley. You go at it all you want. Actually, this was artwork done by somebody that's an actual researcher, or he works in a research lab that deals directly with the electrolysis of distilled water. And he didn't have a mic or go ahead, I'm sorry.
That brings up a point, because he at one point, I'm not sure how many caught it, but at one point he basically implied that you can't both be an artist and a scientist at the same time. So
yeah, right.
How does that follow? Oh wait, it doesn't. It's a non sequitur.
In fact, there are a lot of scientists who use their work to create beautiful things. Like, look up immunofluorescence microscopy art. It's fucking beautiful.
Actually, I have a professor at my university. He's called Walter Bauer. And he uses his NMR spectroscopes to make music.
Nice.
Wow.
That's really cool.
Wait, is this music available somewhere?
It should be. I'll just send you the link later, okay, or tomorrow, whenever I have time to find it.
To go along with the image on the screen, I have to read out what Truth of the Matter said. Spooning is fun when you're Pete and Pete.
Ew!
Wait, that's just for a Sunday image. Why are you reacting now and not?
No, I imagine
started laughing before. It's just that I was being nice and letting the comment finish before I injected. Wait, you mean?
I was reacting to Tornado.
Guys, I found it.
Uh-oh.
I'll send it to you in the side chat.
Read what Six Sage said. Can anyone calculate the amounts of man juice flowing under those sheets using electrolysis? I need proofs.
Well, hold on, but there's an electrolyte in that.
Yeah, there is.
No, you got it wrong. There's an electrolyte for that.
No, there's an electrolyte in it. It's a salty semen joke.
Ew!
Yes. Tornado's still a virgin. He doesn't know that yet.
Because you're a virgin doesn't mean you can't know that semen is salty.
I hope you don't know that for a fact. I hope you're just assuming that.
Wait, what would be wrong with me knowing that for a fact?
Geo, our nuclear...
disturbing.
Geo, our nuclear reactions chemistry...
You don't need to taste stuff.
Stop. Nestle ask me something. Go ahead.
Are nuclear reactions chemistry?
No.
No, right. So there's your answer. The truth of the matter.
Nuclear reactions are nuclear.
Yeah.
What chemistry deals with is the behavior of the electron shells around the nuclei.
Yeah.
And how they make things go boom.
Let's see. My old chemistry is trying to hit me. It's covalent and ionic bonds, correct?
Yes. Yeah, but they are not only those two types of bonds.
There are also dipole.
Yeah,
there's hydrogen.
Yeah, and hydrogen bonds. There's also halogen bonds, which are kind of similar to hydrogen bonds. There's metallic bonds.
Van der Waals forces.
Yeah, those as well. London forces in general. Dipole forces. That's pretty much it, I guess.
Yeah, but the best link in the world is cysteine bridges.
All right, Halsoy, I'm not sure what you have planned for that picture, but Kira Simpkins does have a couple good suggestions. Need to add Riley's purple dildo on the night table and Lou peeking out from under the bed.
Lou, really?
When I saw the picture, I imagine one saying, "Let's do some chemistry."
Wow, Nestle.
And just so everybody else knows in the chat, we were going to be discussing also the relativity, Einstein's relativity.
But fucking got to that.
Yeah. They would have never got it because they're like
they don't understand how water works, so they're never gonna understand how a different reference frames work.
You can just stop it right at they don't understand.
Yeah, they made when I was talking to them in comment sections, they were like, yeah, it's ludicrous to think that a train, as soon as it moves, actually shrinks in size. I was like, it doesn't fucking shrink in size, you fucking idiot. Do you understand
frames of reference?
Do you understand what relative means in relativity? Do you understand why that's a key word? Why it's not just special reality and general reality, special relativity and general relativity? Because it's relative, one thing relative to another. It doesn't mean that individually they shrink. It means from one person's viewpoint, the other person shrinks or the other object shrinks. Not that it actually does shrink.
There are good videos about this that explains this. There is a YouTube channel called Minute Physics. There's a series on general relativity.
No, it's minute fitting. It's minute,
not minute.
Oh man, sorry.
I mean, it's spelled the same.
Same spelling, yeah.
Minute physics.
By the way, Team Skeptic, if you look in your Discord, you'll see an awesome Earth set picture.
I can't. For some reason, my Discord kicked me out and it won't let me access. That's why I had to have Jared send all the pictures. Yeah. No, it kicked me out off the app. I don't know why it's not letting me back on, but it's all right. I'll get on there in a minute.
Just give it some time.
Oh, look.
And yeah, I'm entirely meaning that comment on the inside chat, guys. If someone else wants to read it, by all means.
Oh, okay. So hey, in the chat, the guy that made that picture is actually back in the chat. Wildman Fujiyami. That is my graphic artist for my channel, and that dude is a fucking beast. And he made the awesome Pete and Peter fucking picture, and Housley is gonna fucking animate it, and it's gonna be my thumbnail, and I'm gonna do a rain dance butt naked in my fucking shop after we're done with all this. No cameras involved.
Wait, why would you do a rain dance? Then it's just gonna rain indoors and get everything wet.
Yeah.
Wait, and let's be fair, Skeptic. There are no cameras that you know of.
Oh yeah, I know. I've thought about that. Like, I wonder if, like, sometimes when I'm not here, if my neighbors sneak in and put in fucking cameras.
All right, can someone else try sending the link to Schrodinger's cat? Apparently, it's not working for him from me.
Yes, YouTube is switching off the ability to use.
Oh no, Discord.
No, I sent the message to him through Discord. He's clicking it and it's not bringing him in.
Well, he's Schrodinger's cat. Maybe he's in a state of non-existence now, but will be in a minute. Nobody get the joke?
I got it.
Wow, Nestleg. Wow.
And via YouTube. So Schrodinger's cat, I've sent it to you via YouTube. And yes, it's
Geo. No, it's not, because it's an O.
Oh fuck! In this case, it's correct. Yeah.
Okay, it says Schrodinger's cat is not in the Hangout at this time.
Actually,
I was right.
I'm just gonna send him an
Oh no, he's in here. He's in here. I see him.
Wait, are we sure? Is he? We have to check to find out if he's here or not.
No,
but then
we have to observe it.
If we do that,
we have to observe it to be sure.
Yes, and we need to manifest him into reality right now. Come on, Schrodinger's cat, you make me look stupid, man. Come on, right now. Okay, fuck, man. I'm gonna stop doing that shit then.
I'm currently doing science around the moon. Or moon, actually. Not just the moon in Kerbal, but the moon in...
Oh, God. Every time I'm typing moon hoax for this video I'm doing, and every time I'm like talking to other people about it, I keep having to go back and recheck my spelling because I keep writing moan hoax. Like I keep doing the OAMOANOH.
I think moan hoax is...
This is pretty good, actually.
Moan hoax is when your girlfriend is faking it.
Right, the moan hoax.
Ew! I
How is that ew? Go up.
You are weird yellow sometimes.
Ew, sex is gross.
Hang on, Micro, have you listened to Movie Night at all over the last few weeks?
No.
All right, well, there's a particular person on there, Karis, who is an amazing person that Tornado Pelt has a difficult time handling. Intelligent,
like, girl.
Oh no.
That is exceptionally dirty.
Just
Wait,
how I like
this?
them.
Who is this? I'm down.
Yeah, wait, no, I saw her first.
Her name is Karis. She is frequently on Sci Strikes Movie Night, and she is former Navy. So she comes by the raunchiness naturally.
So not to shit on your parade, Micro, but I'm pretty sure I'm more hard-bodied than you, so I'm probably more interested.
Well, he is a gelatinous blob. It's kind of difficult to not be more hard-bodied.
I mean, sex with me would require acid protection. So, like, it's a full body condom here.
Where's Antonio Subrats when we need the sexy?
Which, you know what? You got to give him credit. He is an amazing sport. At least he has been over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't go as south as it did with part-time asshole.
No, he's not a part-time asshole. He's a full-time asshole.
Yeah, he's
apart from one time where he donated to Sean.
Yeah, well, no, he's a part-time vegan, full-time moron.
Well, I've had a few interactions with him in the comment section. I've never really had a problem with him. He has a
We didn't say we had a
opinion.
problem with him. We just said he's stupid.
Oh yeah, no, he's a fucking idiot. But he's always like,
I haven't
Yeah. Well, that got me. Like, how did he come in here and start saying I'm a bigot? How does that have anything to do with anything? Like, calling someone an idiot is not being.
It's a bully tactic.
Bigotous.
I can describe his methods. Like he will ask you to do the impossible, like the show me a model for how water sticks to a ball. But when he says model, he actually means demonstrate water sticking to a ball just by gravity.
Yeah, he's looking at the physical, a physical model, a physical recreation. And yeah, Brainery has it right. Antonio, was listening and actually would have a discourse. Vegan didn't and refuses to.
That goes to something else. He is a contrarian just for the purpose of being a contrarian. He will disagree with you even on the simplest points. Yeah,
someone actually too.
Well, I mean, he repeatedly denies reality just to disagree with people.
He even denies to the point of atomic theory denialism. He doesn't even believe atoms exist at one point in one conversation.
Wait, he did what?
Yeah, he asked us to show a picture of an atom.
Yeah, and I showed him one.
Yeah,
and he said it was fake.
Yeah.
No, he said he's gonna look into it.
Which is just the same.
There's another piece of his method. When he's cornered, he will just pull up a escape hatch, and his escape hatch is I will look into it, when he actually doesn't look into it when he comes back.
That last Reds hangout though, Sean said, and I don't want to hear this, and there was one point he went silent because he was trying to think of a way to say it without using those words.
The Pete and Peter guys were similar, but much more couldn't take it. You know, I couldn't take their fucking blind denial of science. Like they were just being, like saying House, so I believe it was, they're just being contrarians. I mean, anything you said, they were just going to say, prove it. Oh, how do you know? Well, how do you know?
Exactly.
Well, how do you know about this? And you tell them that, and you go, well, how do you know about that? And eventually they're going to run into something where you're going to have to get down. Like literally they could have continued doing that until you started to talk about the electron shell. And they said, well, where's the electron at? And you go, well, I don't know. Oh, see,
at some point, like you're basically like,
you don't know.
No. If they would ask you where's the electron at, you would show them what an orbital is, and then they would just deny it.
Yeah.
It's
and there's another. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's like the moment they all find something, it's like you don't know, which means you don't know about anything else. Which means we're right, you're wrong. Suck it. Earth is flat. Water is a hoax. Everything is a hoax. You are a sheep.
Yeah, and there's another one.
Get over that they don't understand the difference between.
Micro, just stop right there. You can just say they don't understand.
That doesn't mean that I can't get over the fact that they think that the light entering our eyes works the same as paint.
Yeah, they're completely misunderstanding the difference between additive mixing of colors and subtractive ones.
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm showing how it works right now.
Yeah. There is one last aspect of
is that, as I pointed out, the red cones are actually more yellow cones. It's a bit weird that they call red.
Yeah, but there's also one last aspect of part-time Skeptic. He cannot, or he refuses to admit that he doesn't know anything, or he doesn't understand anything. When you demonstrate, for example, on the equatorial mount, when I exposed his ignorance, even though he promised to look into it, he doesn't know how to set up an equatorial mount, and that shows he doesn't even know about it. But he doesn't. He cannot admit that. He cannot admit that he doesn't know about it.
Hey, can you, Micro, I think this is, Micro, can you explain your graphic that you have up, please?
The picture?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
people that would like to know what we're looking at.
Very self-explanatory.
Not if you don't know what it is.
Not everyone knows.
I just saw the graphic and shared it, and I don't know what we're talking about.
This is how. So inside your eyes, you have 5 different types of light-sensitive cells, but you only use 4 of them to see, so we can ignore the 5th. It's involved in your circadian rhythm and stuff like that. But you have rods, which are only able to sense brightness, and you have 3 different kinds of cones: blue, red, and green. These are the absorption, the relative responses is given here. So it's just an arbitrary number saying how much of a response are you getting out of these at a specific wavelength. So these are the absorption spectra of them, which has to do with you can change when the light there's an actual protein in them that is what senses the light.
They're called opsins.
Yeah, they're called opsins as a general term. And it has to, if you change a few amino acids at specific places in them, you can change what they absorb.
Yep.
So the black thin line here is the rod. That's what you use to see in low light conditions.
Black and white, basically.
What?
No. I'm actually talking with smart people.
I know, I didn't hear what you said.
I think he's talking to somebody else.
Okay. I thought you asked something.
Yeah, Micro, I think he said that the rods are pretty much a black and white sensor.
Yes, they're black and white, but they only work in low light conditions because they get bleached. They're terrible at replacing the retinol, which is it's a vitamin A derived compound that's linked up to the opsins, and they're terrible at replacing that because it only works once.
Isn't that the reason that when you're looking at a very dim star, you kind of have to look a little bit side of it?
Well, that's part of it, but there's actually another reason for that. That has to do with
it's a central spot of the eye that only contains cones, right? And not rods.
And the central part of the eye contains a lot more cones than rods.
It actually only contains cones. If you look, terrible one. Here we go.
Terrible.
Well, no, because it doesn't have the blind spot. Oh, fuck it.
No. The blind spot is a bit off center of the central.
Yes, it's. But I wanted to actually. Oh, that's gonna suck.
And here we go. And here we go in one of our flaws of our design. The blind spot.
Yeah. What we see here. So we like the rods are the green thing, and the cones are the white. So this is the fovea. This is the place where the light is focused. And because your rods are a lot more sensitive, and like a rod cell can detect a single photon and turn that into a signal. There's also a lot of they integrate the signal a lot more, and so you actually have less spatial resolution with them. But that's a whole other story.
Sorry, all I heard was that our rods are more sensitive. Well, no shit.
Oh my!
Oh my!
No, you guys, you gotta get rockets. Oh my!
That wasn't much better than what we did, but fair enough. The point is that, as you said, if you want to see something dim, you actually have to use your peripheral vision and not your like central way you normally do.
Also,
directly on, because directly on you only have cones, which are going to be terrible at detecting something that's dim.
Also, to be clear, it's the ova, not the vulva. They are sensitive to something else.
But they're also sensitive to rods, aren't they?
Yes, especially sensitive to battery-powered rods.
This is a good one.
Oh my!
Much better. There we have the blind spot, because we are so greatly designed that we have all the wiring in front.
Yeah.
But here you can actually see
wired backwards.
Yeah, here you can actually see that you do have a bit of like the cones aren't just in the middle. You have a bit of them all everywhere.
Yeah.
Because otherwise your peripheral vision would be black and white, which would be weird.
Oh, they are a bit
giant disadvantage in terms of evolution, right?
Yeah, they actually are a bit black or white in the peripheral vision, but because your eye jiggles a bit and your brain compensates for the lack of visual cues.
Well, that's two different things.
Yeah, it fills in the
things.
Oh, all right.
The reason your brain fills in and guesses what's supposed to be there. But the jiggling is not because of that. The jiggling is because, as I said, the cells, the pigments, the opsins get bleached and have to the retinol in them have to be replaced, and so your eye is always moving a bit in order for new fresh cells to be used.
Yeah, I really liked the video that Vsauce did on the eye and comparing to cameras. Yes, it's really a shitty apparatus, but because our brains compensate for it, we can see in these high resolution images.
How I like to think of it is like the eye is a camera, and the camera is slightly broken and it doesn't function very well. So the camera's connected to the computer, which is the brain, and the computer fixes the image in Photoshop, and the fixed image is what you see is visual.
That's not a bad analogy, but the fixing actually starts within the eye. Also, technically, the eye is part of the brain. The retina is part of your brain.
Yeah.
The eye is developed from your brain as out bulbs during embryonic development. Yes.
So regarding this high resolution thing, I just want to say I have about -7 dioptrins, which means that I can't even see my own balls when I'm not wearing my glasses.
That's not resolution. That's our inability to focus.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough.
Yeah, angular resolution limits are about 1 arc minute for the human eye.
No, that's not nothing. It's not. That's not what we're talking about.
That's how things that would describe the vanishing point for a flat earther.
Oh no!
Yes.
You had me at balls.
Wait a minute. Are we talking about perspective?
Perspective?
No, you got it wrong. It's flirspective.
Curvilinear flirspective. You know what? I gotta scroll back through.
This is the video I was
the hangout.
There was a video I was talking about with von Friesas, and this is basically the image what one of your eyes sees. You see, the central piece is basically good, but when you go outside your peripheral with it gets really blurry. And
it gets blurry because they have. Yeah. Oh, what's the word? There's a word for it. It's.
And here's your blind spot.
Spatial acuity. That's the word.
Yeah. And here's your blind spot.
Yes. And then he has his glasses on and he has his nose, and your brain fixes that. And as you can see, the saturation goes way down when you get out in the peripheral.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot less cones out there.
Imagine getting a camera and all you see is this. You would return it. So your eye. Yeah, your eye is not really good, well designed.
There's worse designs though.
Yeah.
I mean,
there is actually. Remember the 5th kind of light-sensitive cells? They're called photosensitive vaginal ganglion cells.
What are they for?
They're part of the wiring in front. So evolution has done something. I know evolution doesn't actually do things, but just roll with me. Has taken advantage of the fact that it might as well use the fuck up for something. So they are actually in part of that. So they control your circadian rhythm. They're sensitive to blue light mainly. That's where they peak. They will control your circadian rhythm, but they also help you. They're also part of the mechanism that make your pupils dilate and contract.
So they're pretty much the brightness sensor.
Well, no, they're only part of it. It's actually the reason, you know how you can get like night mode on a lot of electronics where like the screen will be like a weird color. What it actually does is that it turns down the blue because since the blue is what activates and keeps you awake, because that's what acts on these cells.
Yeah, right. Windows has that now, just for your guys. Yeah. I switched it off immediately.
By the way, nice gift there, How Soy.
I actually used to reduce blue mode, and thank you. Also, I'm making progress on the thing.
Man,
I had to do
some
Photoshop work
first. Flat Earth. They're only slipping out of the ladle.
I'll have to head out now.
I think she's cooking nonsense.
Can I make a flat Earth observation real quick? If you'll notice that the liquid inside of the ladle, it's flat.
No, it's level.
No, it's not
level.
flat.
It's level.
It's level. I'm sorry.
And also a bit of surface tension around the edges.
I have to say, the water's not the only thing being flat in there.
Aww.
Okay, guys, I gotta head out.
See ya.
All right.
Bye,
hey,
Gio.
thank you. Thank you for coming in, Gio. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
All right, now that he's gone, can we talk trash about him?
What do you mean? Wait, you were waiting to talk? You can talk trash while he's here.
Oh, well, Michael, I have a question to you. You have explained how eyes in vertebrates work, but how do your eyes work?
I'm glad you asked. Let me find my graphic.
I thought that's where he was going to end.
Describe yourself as Micro. I mean, I know you call us gnathostomes.
No, I call you gnatostomes because that's what you are. You are jawed vertebrates.
Yay.
Just call me a eukaryote and I'll be happy.
Fair enough. Also, I know I'm technically mispronouncing. It's actually gnatostomes. The G is actually silent, but I learned I learned the word from people who apparently said it wrong. So in my head, the G is pronounced.
Oh, a literal reader.
Yeah, Micro is a catonivore, a comb jelly.
No, I'm not.
What are you then?
Well, I'm a synthetic organism.
You're a micro, and you're a bloganism.
That would be my name. You're correct.
Microbloxiensis.
So he is a person...
Limosoa cerebrum.
So you're a person who writes very small blocks. Very, very small.
I don't know if that's... I can't remember where my name comes from.
Micro, does it translate into floating brain?
No, it turns into basically like goo animal brain. There you go.
Your eye is basically the same as that of humans. So,
yes, except if you look, I don't have an iris inside. My iris is a pseudo iris where it's actually a skin fold on the outside. It's like an extra pair of eyelids.
Interesting.
Like the nictating membrane.
Sort of.
Do you have a blind spot? Do you also have a blind spot?
No, I don't.
So which
makes it that much more.
As you will notice, my optic nerve and my fovea, which is number 3, are right on top of each other.
So your eyes are more similar to mollusks.
Yes.
Alright. Better designed.
I'm gonna study this this diagram to learn how to better poke people in the eye more efficiently.
And by the way, I hate being tech support. Does someone want to take over in the external chat?
Yeah. Oh, I've been in it too. Who needs what out there?
It's Schrodinger. He's in the Hangout on the back chat now, but when he goes to join this, it pops him to a support page. So I wonder if he has a microphone set up or not.
I tried to
plug and play.
I tried to find Schrodinger's cat on G+, but when I insert his name, all I find is nerdy pages on quantum mechanics.
I wonder why.
Right.
But he is.
Well, you have to spell it without the.
I copy pasted his name. Even that.
Oh, so it's because other people can't spell Schrodinger.
And Sean Hufford has returned.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, Sean.
I had to cover the live stream by Jaren today with Sly. Had to.
Yeah, that was a thing.
Did you get it? I have it downloaded. All 4 fucking hours of it.
Yeah, yes, and we will be covering it in its entirety tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Oh my god.
Can I join in the fun? Because I hate Jism.
Everyone hates Jism.
Why?
I'm pretty sure his wife hates him.
Why do you hurt your brain so much, Sean?
Because I love to show somebody's a fraud.
Yeah, me too.
You mean like Pete and Peter?
Yes.
The dopamine release is worth the brain cell loss.
So that'll be either on mine or Red's channel tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Everybody's got to come watch it because it's going to be hilarious.
So, am I invited into the panel, or is Red's going to tell me to fuck off again?
I'll save you some time. Fuck off.
Hey, I do want to give another shout out to an individual out there, Mad Scribbles. Sean, remember we were talking kind of about him. He does the animations for me. Yes. He's working on my Moan Hoax animation videos. So they're almost done, but he is such a badass, man. Mad Scribbles, I truly appreciate you, brother. Just wanted to say that.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, sometimes I leave it open. You know, I just kind of finish and everybody's like, wait, do you not have like another 6 words you want to say?
All right, MacBook. Ooh.
So, Sean, if I have it right, it's tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern?
Yes.
What? Why do you care? You're not joining.
Oh, he can watch all day. Yeah.
I know.
I want to hear Jaren squirm.
Oh, a bit of topic. Has anybody seen the new Jurassic World movie, Fallen Kingdom?
Not yet. Not yet.
I found out the problem with Schrodinger's cat.
Somebody opened the box?
No.
Yeah, somebody opened the box and he's dead.
What's in the box? No. The reason why he hasn't been able to join is because he's using Firefox.
Somebody opened the box before somebody actually has the box open the cat out before they bury it.
His problem is he's using Schrodinger's fox.
So,
he's using Firefox on a MacBook.
I'm going to present myself just to show you one of the animations that my man Mad Scribbles does. So all you creators out there, you content creators, you guys need to hit him up if you need some animations because he's a beast. I'm sorry?
Sure. Do we have to mentally prepare because the last image was shocking?
No, not at all, not at all. This is I'm actually
not at all.
But wrong image. Hold on. I had it right here. Let me. Yeah. So do you guys see that? That's his animation of how a flag waves with 0 atmosphere based on physics, and he did this. Go ahead.
So
it almost looks real.
So just
I don't want to give up all my future funniness.
So it reacts just how it did in the footage from the Apollo missions?
Almost exactly. And he didn't put the footage in there and remodel the footage. I asked him to model vibrations traveling up the pole, down the flag with elasticity. And this is what came out with 0 atmosphere. And it just so happens to look exactly like the moon videos.
It's amazing that some people just forget about conservation of momentum.
Oh yeah, no. What you don't understand is they only believe in Isaac Newton's laws of motion when it suits their flat Earth agenda. If it doesn't suit their agenda, it's like, nah. How could that happen? How could the laws of motion just keep traveling down a solid surface? I mean, why would that happen? And then you go to the other side and you say, well, why do you? Oh, well, you feel this because obviously the laws of motion are conserved and this. And you're like,
apparently, I think you have white boxed me. You need to click off me. There, everyone is just seeing me in the chat.
Oh shit. Okay, let me get back there. So, okay, well, yeah, I do. Okay, that's
infinite.
Wow.
No, Pete and Peter. Hold on, I gotta get there. It is okay. So back to what I was saying. Look, this is Mad Scribbles in the chat, man. Thank you very much for putting this together. I know we still have a little bit to go, but I'm being patient and waiting because you're a beast. But yeah, this is what the flag
your housewife.
Atmosphere. And it does mirror what you see on the moon videos. That's exactly what it looks like.
What you're saying is Mad Scribbles is your housewife.
Mad Scribbles. Well, no, Houseway is about to animate the Pete and Peter for me.
Oh, so
I don't want to know.
So he has 2 bitches, not just one.
I have a feeling we're going to see that hand slowly go under the cover.
No, you're not seeing. There's a hand already under the cover, Sean. There's already one there.
Yes, but it's not the hand on top.
Yeah, the ass, obviously.
Oh yeah.
It's already in there. I think.
But I see the hand going down the stomach and then a little possible tongue going across the lips.
and eyebrows
friendly
going
PG
up and
clean.
down.
Oh no, Blue, you were in the
going
wrong
up and
spot for
down.
that.
Where's Blue?
Remember, Blue, we talked about this. We had to talk over and whether we get this closest chat.
Hello.
No, not that.
Did you guys finally give him the birds and bees talk?
You're the one
that
who
was
blue voice?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm the Beelu voice.
Sean is the best Beelu voice.
I am the best Beelu voice.
Fuck off!
No, Macro, you can't do it right.
What's the blue voice?
No, he didn't.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with the Beelu stuff, the convex R stuff, Nestle?
Oh yeah, I heard about that issue where basically the
Hold on, Tornado. Hold on. Nestle, are you familiar with the convex R stuff?
No.
Okay, that's where the Beelu comes from. There was about 2 months ago or 3 months ago,
April Fool's Day, and shortly thereafter.
Yeah, exactly. It was April Fool's Day. They put out a convex Earth where they're like, we did these 10 experiments and they all show without a doubt that it's a flat Earth. Well, the thing is they didn't do any of the experiments properly. None of them. They did them all based on basically perspective. That's what every one of their experiments were done. Like they did one, the video already put out, they did one where they did geodesic measurements over water. And basically they just confirmed that sea level is the same height all the way around.
Oh my God.
That's basically what they didn't measure any zenith angles.
My favorite was that they used GPS.
Oh, and not only that, but they said that their entire source for everything was an alien in the bush.
No. Even before that it came out, Globebusters scheduled with them to have them on the show.
Oh, they ate it up. Nestle. They were promoting it. They were, overly promoting it. Like it was definitive proof.
Yeah,
they were like Homer Simpson looking at the donut. Wow.
It was actually worse than the no trees on a flat Earth troll that they encountered a year ago. It was worse than that.
The thing that I hate about that most is when they showed the diagram of the laser beam, and there was just a massive curve of water, and
it's like two islands
just curve independently. There's two islands on either side. I just facepalmed so hard when I saw that.
The other thing they did, Nestle, is they wanted to do a theodolite measurement on buildings that were 2,000 kilometers away from each other.
How?
Well, no, it wasn't a theodolite. What they did was they took GPS measurements.
Yeah, GPS. I'm sorry, not theodolite.
And the top, and they were expecting the distance between the coordinates they got to be larger at the top because it's supposed to be pointing away. And to realize how coordinates are presented.
Yeah. Coordinates are two-dimensional on the surface of the Earth. So yeah.
So aside from everybody jumping on that bandwagon, including Globebusters, mainly Globebusters, because they're the biggest one in the discourse community when it comes to flat Earth, so they talk about it a lot. They jumped on it immediately, and then the moment that they were like, somebody said, hey, you guys know that they're getting their information from an alien, right? And here's the video from the alien 9 years ago or 10 years ago. And it's like this alien. Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead, Beelu. Where you at, Beelu? Go ahead and introduce yourself. That's how he talked. He was like, take measurements of the Earth.
Is it the alien voice? What was the voice?
It was that sort of voice in Portuguese on top of it.
Yeah. So all you gotta do is go search Beelu. Beelu convex Earth. BILU. You'll find it. BILU. Yeah, and it
Hold on.
I've told it. Yeah, go ahead.
One flat Earth map with Beelu in the bush.
The ET Beelu.
Yeah, that's the one right there.
Imagine you took ET and Elmo and combined them and made it a flat Earth and put it in a bush.
Or like the baby from Dinosaurs. You know, not the mama, not the mama. That's it. Like he had that real high pitch. Again. But yeah, they jumped all over it, and then they retracted the moment people started going, "Yeah, you guys realize how much of a fucking idiot y'all are, right?"
Is it? What I'm putting in the group chat.
Well, what's funny is because of mine and Sly's hangout on Sly's channel, where we exposed all this, and everybody in Sly's chat went over to make Beelu jokes in the Globebusters live stream where they were promoting the convex Earth stuff.
And then they dropped it like it was a hot sack of potatoes.
Yes, within 24 hours, that video was gone.
You don't drop hot sacks of potatoes.
And then they just
keep your
acted,
potatoes.
They
So
laughed
potatoes
it
are
off.
good.
They laughed it off. They're like, "Yeah, they got us." Haha. And you're like, "Bitch, you guys didn't do. Y'all never do research."
And that's like,
everybody.
yes, that is the shortened one, but that is Beeloo in the bush.
But here's the kicker. Everybody under the sun was warning them before this that these were the type of people they were trying to promote. And they didn't buy it until me and Sly made that hangout and they saw all the Beeloo jokes. Then they came over to Sly's channel, saw the video, and saw that they were fucked.
And that's like also, if you get a chance, look at the backstories. They were arrested for this. Okay, they were arrested for promoting this false. I'm sorry, as promoting it as being true, and pushing this other agenda. And I think they took money from people. So there's like a lot of fraud that was involved with these guys. And then they turned around and put out this video a couple of months ago, and everybody was like, just totally forgot that they were frauds. I mean, nobody had the information, but
people had the information. They were trying to warn Bob and Jaron about it big time. It was all over comment sections from the first time that they mentioned it on Globebusters. Don't trust them. These people are frauds.
Oh, Grogs, it was more than just real estate fraud. Real estate fraud is what they got most of them on. The ringleader got a couple more charges on top of that.
So I want to make this straight. Did the Beeloo, did they try to make up this fraud to argue that an alien existed here on Earth?
Well, yes and no. Okay, so it's kind of like a story. It's kind of like if you made Flat Earth into a movie and you said, well, where do these idiots get this fucking information from? And then somebody has a flashback to that, video clip where they're like, oh yeah, we got the information about it being a flat Earth. Because he says you guys are wrong about your Earth. It's not a globe, it's flat, it's concave on the land masses. And so they're basically setting up the flat Earth. He's even said, I'm going to give you tests that you will do that will help you prove this. So it's kind of like an intro. Who knows
here's the thing, though. This video was made in 2011.
Yeah.
Beeloo is literally the father of the modern flat Earth movement. And it was all built on a lie.
Wait, really?
Yes. Beeloo
Okay.
was the beginning of the modern flat Earth movement. Look at the history of YouTube. There were no flat Earth videos until Mark Sargent and Eric Dubay in 2015. So yes, Beeloo is the father of the modern flat Earth movement on YouTube.
How do we get rid of this whole flat Earth disease?
How do we know its gender? I'm just quoting somebody in the group chat. Mike Lemon says,
if it's Portuguese, then we should be able to see it from the language.
Also, Sean, did you get to see the issue with the flat Earth dumpster fire?
Which one was that?
The most recent one.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Yeah, it's all a dumpster fire.
Are you talking about the one that is actually thumbnailed with a dumpster fire?
The Gavin Dell thing? Yeah, that was a dumpster fire.
Yeah. And it was also the one with Russian vids.
Yeah, it's same show.
Did you get to see that, Sean?
Yes, I did. After the fact, but yes.
Let's just say I don't mince words when it comes to Russian vids. Let's just say I suggested that he should be used to seal up the O-ring on the Challenger.
Again, you guys are being too civil with him.
So who was okay,
that would mean he was useful.
So between the point that Beyond the Imaginary Curve got off and the point that Russian Vids came on, there was another individual that was on briefly. Who was that?
Jason of Awake
Souls.
Awake Souls. Now, what's his deal?
He's the guy that says that the sun is 6 birds wide.
What? 6 birds wide?
Not even kidding.
Mind you, he's an admitted ex-Jehovah's.
Can you repeat that?
Using religious type of dumb fuckery.
Now,
can you repeat that? What was 6 birds wide?
Six birds, as in flying things in the air. 6 birds wide. And
so what did
his methodology to come to that conclusion was he was watching birds fly through the sun, without a solar filter.
Not in front of it, through it.
And so he took a picture of the bird as it flew through the sun so he could see it, and he stacked it, side by side, and came up with 6 birds wide.
How the?
So I'm assuming he didn't use a solar filter, correct?
You are assuming correctly.
Why does it matter if you use the solar filter?
Well, I pointed out that I've got a picture during my noon to sunset video. I actually have a jet flying in front of the sun, and it's only taking up 2 pixels, but the sun is taking up a fuck ton of pixels left to right.
Well, that just proves that the sun changes its angular size.
That's just perspective.
That just means that those birds are about 400 times larger than a jet.
I have to address the live chat because as soon as you mentioned birds and being used, Sean Carroll and a few others, you guys are awesome with the question about the African or European swallow.
Can you bring up the P&P picture again?
yes, no problem. Hold on.
So would that be a European swallow?
No. You need a picture of Pissy Pete for that one.
Yeah, that's a right there. That's the mating. Hey, everybody, pay attention. This is the actual mating scene of 2 European swallows.
Shut up.
I'm sure one of them has to be a spitter.
Yeah.
Can someone do David Attenborough voice?
Never shuts up.
Someone what?
Do a David Attenborough voice.
Micro,
the BBC wildlife narrator.
Yes.
Micro, in your accent, no.
No, man. What was that supposed to be my accent?
It was pretty much spot on.
No, it wasn't.
No, it is tough to mimic the accent of an amalgamous blob.
That's true. You're also dealing with an accent that derives from one of the hardest languages to pronounce in Europe, so.
Oh, that reminds me. Well, how do you speak, Micro? Do you have a voice box?
Well, no, I don't have a voice box. I have what you see.
What do you think he had?
He modulates violently.
What you see in the video and right now is not how I talk. That is a translation that's put over. There is an actual language that I'm working on. Yes, I know. I'm going way too in depth with this.
I'm going to speak your native language, Micro.
No.
I was gonna say it's fast twitching and rapidly vibrating phalanges.
Wait,
okay, so
phalanges?
Phalanges.
I don't have phalanges.
Flagellum.
Here's what we're gonna do. While we're bullshitting in here, I'm going to be monitoring the chat on the live chat. So while we're bullshitting, if any of you guys in the live chat have something that you would like to ask or add, please put it in there. I'll be paying attention to that, and I will ask the panel the questions. Go ahead, Micro. Keep with your gibberish talk.
Så fortsætter jeg med mit totalt mærkelige sprog. Det kan jeg godt. Det fortsætter bare.
What's the square root of 0?
Hvad siger du?
42.
Purple.
42.
Nej, helt forkert.
So the square root of 0 would be whatever. Something times.
Thank you, Halsey.
0.
Yeah, that Pete and Peter. That's the square root of 0 is Pete and Peter. That's 0 squared equals 0. 2 zeros times each other.
Square root of 0 is
in bed.
Somebody was.
No.
Don't.
Wow. Blue, this is how you get kicked out of Hangouts. Yeah. That and asking what channel Wits Hangouts will be uploaded on.
Yeah.
Peter ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
That's enough of that.
That is That goes far beyond an understatement.
They're not even.
Well, granted, they are tools, but they're not useful.
Sharp.
So they're not granite tools?
No, they're crazy fucks.
I did a geology joke. Geology puns are the best. But you have to dig a lot to find them.
They are crazy European swallows.
Hey, microblog. I don't think your geology puns are very nice.
Oh. Wildman in the chat said Peter and Pete are a material manifestation of divide by zero error. Does not.
They are.
I would give half that, but
they're a literal blue.
Oh, I'm sorry, I had to reboot for that one.
Hey, just be lucky we don't take them for granted.
You can't just use the same pun.
You ain't the sharpest tool in the shed.
I already did that joke. I already did that joke.
Yeah.
Where?
At least I don't lose my marble.
I think we just have to bury it here.
Yeah.
Hey, no need to gravel about it. Can't we just bury the hatchet?
Don't make me hurt you.
Okay, I'm having flashbacks to Family Guy and Peter on the ground holding his knee.
Sean Carroll says, hold on. If we divide by zero, does that mean we produce a black hole? No.
No, we produce a blue screen of death.
Yes.
Well, that's if you do it on a computer. If you do it in real life, you get Pete and Peter.
Yeah, but of course, if you divide by zero, that means that everyone doing it gets stoned.
Okay, I'm done with geology puns.
That one didn't even make sense.
Kick him out. Kick him out. I'm done with him.
Yeah, well, nothing beats this.
Wait, blue screen has what? Blue screen has to perform an illegal operation. How does the blue screen perform an illegal operation?
No, read the bottom.
You fail at failing. No, that's not a double negative.
That's awesome.
Okay.
What the hell was that?
That was a PNP love toy.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, I just muted.
Who's living next to a swamp with frogs in them?
No, it was a sheep. I think it was a sheep.
That was Tornado Pelt's mating call. He was trying to get other bronies to come over.
Aww.
Or that of the, geology puns just got him a little too excited.
Sean, why?
You might even say it got him.
Because I'm done with geology puns.
Good.
There we go.
Sean, good comment.
I'm not saying any geology puns at the moment.
Sean, good comment from the live chat. Damn, I hear sheeple.
Hey, Pelt, be careful. I just might make you do something like this.
Now, did you notice over the last six or so months, people stopped using the term sheeple from the flat Earth side?
I wonder why that is.
That's because of a joke that I made about 6 months ago.
Oh no!
Well,
I missed it.
most of these flat Earth retards are highly religious, and they sit there and call people who, follow the government or believe in science, they call them sheeple. I just look back at them and was like, the Lord is my shepherd.
Yeah.
Oh!
You are by definition, if you're a Christian, you are by definition a sheep of the Lord.
Yeah.
Yes, so sheeple.
That's where the concept comes from.
It was hot.
And that's where the concept of sheeple comes from.
By the way, I've been to this place. It does exist.
Location.
Saves a lot of time and gas.
That is beautiful. That is
also plausibility. There's a good reason why your idea of science doesn't get any funding.
Oh no. So for those in the live chat who can't read this, by the way, this is the old Navy Utilities uniform for E6 and below. My sex clothes. because I know that when I wear these, I'm going to get fucked.
So cinnamon control from the chat says, so do Peter and Pete have good or bad chemistry? I'm very conflicted by this. Now that you just made a really good point, cinnamon control. I think they're getting the idea of their chemistry like bladed with the idea of scientific chemistry. They think that if they accept, like if Peter accepts water as H2O, it will divide the Pete and Peter duo, so it's bad chemistry as far as they're concerned.
Well, when I was just able to listen while I was at work, I had that one earplug in for the beginning of it, and every time that somebody would actually ask them something, you would actually hear one or the, I don't know which one was on the mic to begin with, but the other one you could actually hear him looking stuff up on Google.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and then providing answers for this dude to stop waffling and actually try to give some kind of answer.
I mean, at some points they would just like not ignore us and just like talk among themselves. Like,
yeah, that's what I said that earlier. I was like, you could hear him feeding him information. Ask him about this. Ask him about that.
Yeah,
and it's like, dude, why don't you just get on to have your buddy, get on the mic? I know you guys can do it. I've seen your videos. You can both be on there, and they did for a moment. They both got on, but it didn't help them out.
Wait, so does their chemistry involve a lot of p orbitals?
Hold on, I want to say something.
Wow.
Because my science teacher actually did something really cool. He actually did the electrolysis experiment.
That's not that special. That's a pretty standard.
And he used water bottles, making things go boom. So if I were to make something go boom in front of all Peter and Pete, would that suggest that oxygen and hydrogen are made?
You really shouldn't make things go boom in front of them. Like they're well capable of doing them themselves.
Hey, Sean.
They will shiver and go under the basket like dogs.
By the way, to clarify for good old PP, hydrogen actually burns orange, not lavender.
Yeah, it burns orange, but it's like the flame is almost invisible, kind of.
Yeah, that's what really got my piss in a boil. It's potassium is the thing that gives off the lilac hue. That's why you sometimes see it whenever you light off gunpowder, because there's a little bit of potassium nitrate in there, which has, guess what? Potassium in it.
Sean, Heat Shield wants to know if you will be addressing what Jism blathered on after the experiment, or just about the experiment itself.
I'm actually hoping to cover the entire feed.
Wow, stellar comment from the live chat. The truth of the matter.
It only burns lavender when it's setting the mood to get laid.
No, the other one.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the picture that Team Skeptic's about to bring up.
No. The other one. They love things that go boom near their mouths.
Nice. In or around their mouth.
Are you related to the username Schrodinger's cat?
Yes, I'd like to welcome Schrodinger's cat. He has been trying to get on, and he has finally made it. What's up, man?
Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
We can hear you.
So now we know the answer.
If you finally come to be and not in the superposition in time and space.
That's why I just said now we know the answer.
I think that was my very first response to any very first comment I ever saw of his. He said he left a comment, and I was like, "Well, thankfully you made it out of the box, okay? Let's start there." Now
we know.
Now we can address what you said.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's going on, Schrodinger?
I finally got it to work. I had to download stuff and then change my settings, and it was a ridiculous mess.
Well, that's because you made the initial mistake of installing Firefox.
Well, I made the mistake of trying to join a Hangout and having never done it before.
Oh, well, welcome. So glad we can break your virginity.
Well, I felt like I was in debunker royalty. Had all the guys on here today. So I've been watching y'all for years. I feel like I already know most of you. And Sean, my condolences.
Well, thank you.
I hope my paltry donation helped in some way.
They all did. Every single one of them.
Yeah, you rocked up a bunch of money quick. That was awesome.
Well, it was a serious issue.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was a human issue. It wasn't a debate issue, and I think that's what drove it the most. It's the fact that it was everybody showing their humanity, and I really appreciate everything that happened with that.
Well, if I can donate to Red for hitting pigs with his car, then the least I could do was donate to you. And I donated to Greater Sapien, and he met his goal the other day.
That was awesome too. He's actually exceeded it. He's actually exceeded it, so he actually get better equipment than he planned on.
Yeah, flat earthers will have something else to call a lie now.
I do like his approach, though, about giving them the opportunity. Even if they just donate $5, they get a shout out on their channel. It's definitely worth for if there are any flat earthers who are doing their own channel, go donate $5 to Greater Sapiens Fund. He'll actually promote your channel, and if his experiment fucks up or doesn't prove the globe Earth in any way, shape, or form, then you have ammo to throw back at him. He's even going to give you all the telemetry data and all that he collects while he's doing it, and you have the ability to track him yourself. So if you're a flat earther out there,
really cool.
Go donate $5
for shiggles.
You can stop.
So a couple things. Jared, I don't know if you know, but before I was an officer, I was an AT also.
Nice.
Were you I or O level?
I
was I2. I worked on Cat 3D, and then I taught CAS. And then from there, I got picked up for STA 21. And then I drove Navy ships, and then I switched to Special Ops. So I was all over the place for 22 years.
Nice. Right. I was part of the Island of Misfit Toys, the last shop to actually be true component level. ComNav 610.
6,000, 610.
Cliff, you need to join our Friday night discussion or Friday night veteran talk too.
Oh yes, I was gonna go to the Memorial Day one, but I was out at the lake and I had like 2 bars of 4G out there, so that wasn't gonna work.
No.
But so for Pete and Peter, I've been watching them for a while, and I've made it just because the same reason I slow down and look at car wrecks.
Right.
So
good answer. Great answer right there.
I can accept that answer.
But I've got a list here that I made for this assertions that they make. The horizon is always at eye level, as if theodolites aren't a thing. Rockets don't work in space. Right. Humans do not breathe oxygen. Water is not H2O. Air is not made of constituent gases. Jet aircraft do not use fuel, and I'll get back to that one.
Yeah, I'm personally, as a Navy person who was stationed on a ground base with limited personnel, ET, we were absolutely responsible for helping clean up any spill of any kind of fuel whatsoever. It is not compressed air that they put into those machines. 100%.
Yeah, as if what would compressed air do? It would be a bottle rocket. It would just go up. Anyway, so
anyway, guys, I'm gonna
refrigerators
because I'm actually almost falling asleep in my chair.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Tornado.
Yeah, when can we chat later? Skeptic.
At least you didn't say you were going to go to sleep like a stone.
Like I said, that chat was a insignificant chat. We can chat whenever. So, but we'll do that on offline some other time. Are you getting off of here?
Yeah, I was falling asleep in my chair.
Everybody, be sure to let Tornado Pelt know how much of a fucking idiot he is in the chat.
Boy.
And Tornado Pelt, you have a good day, man. And I'm sure I'll catch you on the next live stream.
See ya.
You're such a bigot, Skeptic.
Oh, now that he's gone. Oh boy,
I'm a bigot. I love the way they opened that up, and I was like, I really don't care what you think about me.
Well, they didn't open with that. They opened with the pedophile thing.
Oh yeah, what did they say?
You missed it while they said. You missed it while they said you were probably a pedophile. Skeptic.
They said that?
Yeah.
When you disconnected.
When you disconnected and we couldn't get a hold of it, they I can't tell if it was a joke or not. They suggested that perhaps it was because you were a pedophile.
Okay, so they're getting. I am now going to actually put forth a lot of effort into the anger that's going to go into their video. I apologize in advance. There may not be an NSF warning on that video, so if you're at work, don't fucking play that video. Wait till you get home and you're not around kids.
But keep in mind, personal attacks are not okay, right? Right?
I'm sorry.
Right? Well, according to them, personal attacks are not okay, and you're a bigot for attacking people.
Oh yeah,
right?
I'm a bigot and a pedophile, but it's not okay to attack people.
Well, to be fair, they didn't categorically say that you were a pedophile. They just suggested it.
They just suggested it because you left.
Suggesting it is an attack. So
Yes.
there's a few things you don't even suggest unless you can back it up, and that's something like rape accusations, and when it comes to either misusing, producing, or enjoying sexual content that involves children. Like you simply do not do that unless you have valid reason to support
the claim. I'm not saying you might have butt sex with each other, but maybe it could be.
Yeah, perhaps that's the case.
Perhaps.
Hey,
well, those guys specialize in assertions without evidence.
Oh yeah, they just did it.
People don't have evidence.
Well, they're flat earthers. What do you expect?
Yeah, it's probably the specialty. That's like flat Earth 101.
But I brought some evidence. That's why I wish I could have got on while they were there, because they made the assertion that snipers don't compensate for the Earth's rotation when making long distance shots. So my next to last tour in the Navy was at Joint Special Operations Command, and my last tour before I retired was at SEAL Team 2. And so I have a piece of evidence that I'm going to put in the chat here.
Okay.
Let's see. Paste.
While he's doing that, I'm gonna ask Micro a question from the chat. Said, ask Micro how many times we do electrolysis experiments in school as kids here in Denmark.
Quite a lot. The Danish education system has a few weird things where the same topics are repeated over and over again. Like in history, like for example, in history class, like World War II and Vikings, we hear a fuck ton about those.
Well, who doesn't want to talk about Vikings, especially the ones related to them?
Yeah, but it's a bit weird that's like every 2 years throughout school, that's the topic. Like, there's more to history than that. Yeah, we like electrolysis experiments are quite frequent.
What do you mean there's more to history than Vikings?
Yeah. Hey, where did you post that? Where did you post your information?
I guess it's the side chat over here on.
I don't see it in the side
chat. I think you probably may have posted in the back chat.
Yeah, it's the back chat where I was chatting with Jared earlier.
Do this right here. Move your mouse. There's going to be a left there on the left side at the top of the screen. There will be like a little messaging box. It's
Contacts?
Blue. Click on that. No, it should say chat.
In the Hangout itself.
Yeah.
In the Hangout itself. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm using two different things here. So, there we go. I will put it there. What this is the Navy Ballistics Manual. And it's specifically Chapter 13 of the Navy Ballistics Manual, which is titled.
I've read this
open
one.
it real fast. It is titled.
When was this written?
This is a very
the effects
old.
of Earth's rotation on the trajectory. Errors due to trunnion tilt.
Trunnion.
Yeah, trunnion tilt. Cold gun errors.
And this shows all of the calculations for Earth's rotation's effect due to the Coriolis effect. So, did the Navy write this 1,000-page manual to support the Earth hoax?
Yes. So how old is this? When was this written? Because it's pretty printed in.
This version is from 1935. It's been updated, but that's the one I could find first. So
when was Big Bertha with Hitler?
A few years
Big
later.
Bertha was World War I.
Yeah. Wait, are you talking about the train gun?
The Paris gun, yeah.
gun?
The one that missed by 10 miles because they didn't factor in Coriolis.
I'll ask him in a second.
Yeah, well, it didn't miss. They knew they had to account for it.
Well, no, it missed because they didn't account for it.
At first, I think, in the test run, yeah.
Yeah, in the test, and the Paris gun was end of World War One, and well, the first one was the bigger one from Hitler.
Yeah, the one from Hitler is the one that they didn't take into Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
That was 42.
Yeah, that was impossibly big. It could only fire one thing, and it would pretty much be broken after that.
Hey guys, I got a quick favor. I've got a 9-year-old that thinks that if he says a few words onto YouTube, then that'll make him famous. Can we give him like 30 seconds?
Hey, bring him on. He's welcome.
Put Blue on there. Ask him about flat earthers. He's got a lot of opinions about them. Here, put that in your ear and talk to the nice people.
So
say hi.
Hello.
Hi.
And tell them who you are.
Well, I'm Winston Overby, the son of the guest that's on your channel on the internet, I guess. And I have a couple questions about you thinking the Earth is flat.
Well, no, the flat Earth guy left. He rage quit.
Yeah.
So these are only smart people left.
Okay.
That's very subjective, but okay, thank you.
Well, that's debatable.
Well,
yeah. Tell them what you think about the flat Earth people, real quick.
Well, the reason why I think the Earth is flat is because if you were on the bottom of the Earth, then you would really think you would be falling off, right? But I never heard about gravity, and he also never heard about hills, because if hills weren't made, then the world would be flat, right?
Well, not really, but I see the point you're getting at. All right, tell the nice people bye and tell them thank you. Say thank you, Father Skeptic.
Hey,
thank you, Father Skeptic.
Hey, yeah,
it's nice to be on your channel.
No, it's my pleasure. Can we just refer to you in the future as Schrodinger's kitten?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just first to me at Commander WWSYECA.
Okay. All right. Say thank you. Bye.
Good deal. Thank you for coming on. You have a good day, sir.
Thanks, guys. Now he thinks he's famous.
Schrodinger's.
Don't let it go to his head.
Schrodinger's tiger.
Just get really, really fine-grade Vaseline to grease his ears for the next couple hours.
So okay. Also, in the chat, we have Heel Punch that says that Pete and Peter are possibly projecting themselves as Peter-philes.
There you go.
And one more. Paul Stratton wants to know what the final score of the Pete and Peters are on the Jaren scale.
I'm going to guess that one's 5 inches, one might be 6. We'll have to ask them. I'm pretty sure they got a good scale of each other. So,
Cliff, who else would decide that?
What?
Right. Well, on a half-foot and red scale, where would you place them?
Hey, Cliff, are you familiar with David Ridlin?
No.
Why does that sound familiar?
That's Chewbird.
Go out of flat earth debunking. He's compiled a long list of
telephone
military
rings?
and
telephone calls,
science resources. He'd probably appreciate you giving him that document you talked about. You can contact him on Metabunk.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Who was you're talking to Cliff there, correct?
Yeah.
With the Navy document. Okay, cool deal.
Yeah, I've been sending that out every time a flat earther talks about the Coriolis effect. I just ridiculous.
Sorry.
You could talk to any sniper that worked with me, and they'll tell you all about it.
Sorry to butt in. I just wanted to say good night.
Hey, Houseway, I appreciate you coming on, sir.
Later, Houseway.
Yeah, and I'm gonna head out too. So,
all right, Micro, you guys take it easy. I appreciate both of you guys coming on, man.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was fun.
I felt very low to the ground air quotes on that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
very low. And
a small pause before the word fun.
Yeah.
Has anyone else watched?
Anyways, bye.
Has anyone else watched the GIF that he's created to this point? It's in the internal chat.
Oh no.
Where's it at? Oh. Okay. Is it the last one?
Yeah. Well, they're both.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God.
Oh, I'll have to share that. Hold on. Let me.
And a nice Easter egg with the purple dildo.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, that is.
I like the flat Earth map on their nightstand.
Oh, that was already there. So, but he added the purple dildo, I think.
Yeah, he added the purple dildo and
the lube up over in the.
Yeah, that's. I was trying to see what it
nightstand.
said. Yeah, he added lube to the nightstand.
Well,
That's so
technically he didn't add the purple dildo. He just took it out from under the blanket.
He needs to put like a condom wrapper on the ground, like a torn open.
You think they're smart enough to use protection?
Well, I don't know. It depends on if they own any lambs and they reach inside their colon to pull the lamb skin out.
I don't know if the live chat can see the GIF correctly because it jiggles really fast and maybe the frames get lost. So
yeah,
so basically the